Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are aware, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
It's Friday!
It's Friday, my dudes.
From Liz the Iron Maiden in chat.
Nope, good call.
Oh.
I had the whole damn thing muted. Good call.
Oh, good. Thanks, Liz.
Just in time, too, because we didn't do shit for an intro. So just some music and a whole bunch of nothing. So I was just said hello to Adam. Adam said he's not going to be talking a whole bunch because he and John were talking to a son that they wish they'd had. Mind you, they both have 2 sons, but, you know, that's cool. Whatever. I'm sure they'll not listen to this and have therapy bills.
I'll tell you what, I'll bloody tell him. I say, look, listen, this is where your mind should be. Get it off that Xbox. Get it focusing around here a little bit. Yeah? But no, like, it was, as I said, it was very heartwarming to see that people so young are basically 30 years ahead of where I was, which, you know, great news. I shall say no more. Anyway, but other than that, I've had a good week. It's been interesting further developments since the appearance on Globebusters. That chat's developing nicely, and Dean having a natter today. You were quite popular today, Zach. Both your Van der Graaf and the remember the old the tank showing differential in gas pressure. That was brought up.
Yeah, shout out A. McKenzie down in Florida. Yeah, he did a great welding job on that thing for me.
Yeah, so that whole topic's expanded nice and lots of chat across, well, from what I can say, across the community. So yeah, all good. Been enjoying that, but yeah.
Well, sweet. Well, since he was just mentioned, let's say hello to Mr. Zachary Zabala. You may know him as Good Times for All, where you can find that gas tank pressure differential video and the Van de Graaff videos and gardening videos and alchemy videos and all sorts of really cool videos and many, many cool videos to come as early as tomorrow, which we will talk about here with Zach as well. Hello, Zach. How the heck are you doing tonight?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Adam. Hey, Cammie. Miss the folks that aren't here tonight, and I'm really excited about this guest. This is going to be so awesome. Sorry about the noise. I'm outside on the porch while Hank is doing some business. Yeah, no, it's.
So you're a drug dealer?
Excited about tonight. Hank?
No.
Yeah, sometimes.
I wonder what he's up to, what business he's doing out there on that.
See, he
porch.
goes off in the shadows,
Yeah.
and he talks to the squirrels. So I don't know what he's doing. Maybe they're playing
catnip.
over.
Shut up. Sorry.
But no, I'm excited about tonight. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, I was hoping more people his age would have been getting into this and excited about it, but it isn't. You know, like you said, they have to fight through the video games and the sports and all this programming, and it's so nice to see a young man at his age this aware of his surroundings already. It's a bright future, folks. It really is.
Let's say hello to Mrs. Cammie Nodell, the estrogen side of our testosterone heavy show. Cammie, how's your week been?
Oh, it has been a really, really, really good week. I missed Wednesday, so I'm super excited. And I heard about just how wonderful it was. I was having girl on girl time as the estrogen side of the team goes. It's been lovely. We've had ladies from the community, come over, Flat Earth community from Greenville area. Again, it seems like I'm a half hour to everybody in all directions. And so we've had some fun times cooking and like working on what we're doing. And we went furniture shopping and picked out like pieces to replace the ones that got broken in the move, so we'll no longer have the mattresses on the floor like teenagers or whatever. I think it's time we get off of the ground. It's really, really been a good week. I couldn't agree with you more, Adam, as far as Zach's videos, and a lot of them will be reaching back. Zach, in my humble opinion, was I think right on target, but ahead of the curve or ahead of time on a lot of his videos, and they're timeless. They're as you look at things and think truth filters through. I think it's really fun to go through his old videos and see how people are just now catching up and discussing what he was on to long ago. He's done a lot of studying, a lot of work, and I couldn't have more respect for another human being. So you go, Zach.
Oh, thank you, Cam. That was sweet. You're too nice.
Hell yeah. We love us some Zach.
We all love us some Zach. I'm really excited to meet this guest, though, because I heard I missed a lot. And I'm excited to listen in from, again, hearing it fresh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Before we get into it, let me just give a quick shout out there to John Savage. We miss you. And to Walter as well, who may just slide in here at any moment. You never can tell with Walt. So, without much further ado, let me introduce. Let me change this real quick. There we go. That's what I wanted. Introduce the guest. So, when we moved, as many of you know, we moved recently, but we moved back sort of to my wife's old stomping grounds. So she got to reconnect with lots of her friends that she hadn't seen in a while, because it's a bit of a hike just to come out to see her where we were. So in doing so, she got to reconnect with her friend Amber and Amber's son Donnie. And Donnie and my wife used to be really good pals when Donnie was little. We're talking little. So now Donnie is 13, and talking to him, she realized that, you know, Donnie, I bet Donnie and Josh would probably get along. They should probably have a conversation. So I sat down and I was talking with Donnie, and like, man, I would just absolutely love to get Donnie on the air and have this conversation on the air in front of people, because it's amazing to hear such a young voice with such eyes to see. It's that hopium. It's really inspiring. I really dig it. So he's actually in studio, just off camera. There's only so much I can do with the room that I've got. Let's welcome Donnie. Donnie, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Have no fear. We're absolutely honored and privileged that you could be here this evening.
Yeah, so am I. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
So first
Welcome,
off,
mate. Sorry.
well, I'm real curious. You're 13, so the big question is, how's school going in this day and age? How's this distance learning and all this other stuff going for you? What's your circumstance? What's your situation? What are you doing?
My situation is that I'm virtual learning. That means I have to go onto a laptop provided by the school, go into these Zoom meetings for like an hour each, 8 of them. I have to sit there while the teachers make us play little online games and fail to teach correctly.
That sounds absolutely miserable. So, well, how are your grades holding up? Well, what were your grades like before you started this virtual learning?
I was an A and B student.
Nice.
Now I have, actually my progress reports just came in today. I 4 Fs, 2 Cs, and a B.
Record numbers, from what I understand. There are record numbers of students failing now because of this nonsense they're attempting. Wow. So are you at least able to hang out with friends? Are you able to vent any of these frustrations anywhere?
No, not really. I used to have a friend that came over, but he was trouble, so that's not an option anymore, and my only other way is to do it over the Xbox, and since my parents see that just as gaming, I'm not on there as much.
Yeah, that's probably...
I can't socialize.
It's a tough call. It really is. Well, if the person you're hanging out with live and in person is bad news, then you're better off socially distancing him regardless of the current climate. But it's gotta be frustrating. I have no other words to put it. Yeah,
it's hard to explain.
It is really hard to explain, and that's one of those things that you can get really stuck in, is trying to find those emotions. And in these kind of situations, it's things that nobody has really dealt with in our generation. So yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, what you're going through is unprecedented in these times. You know, we have no idea what you're going through, any of us. We've never had to deal with this, any of this madness at such a young age like you. It's not fair, man. I'm sorry that we've let it get this far out of hand.
I am too. My son, by the way, he to go over his school day and what it's like at 17 years old, and we're in a new area, so he doesn't know anybody, and it's really hard to meet people in this mask where you're not supposed to get close and talk things. But he went into school for 8 hours today to have 2 classes. One of them study hall because he's completed all of his English and it's completely done. But if he doesn't show up, he'll flunk for attendance. And the other was gym class, where they have them just play on their phones because they're not allowed to touch any of the gym equipment. And that's the teacher's way out, is we can't do anything with the kids because we're not allowed to touch any of the equipment. So it's like, it's terrible. It's, don't know anybody or don't have friends over in that. And I can't even be excited that it's Friday night.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. That's theft. If not
Yes.
theft, that's gross negligence. I mean,
It's
how the
theft.
hell?
It's childhood theft. You're stealing their childhood. It is theft. They're stealing the best years of your life. You know, your teenage, what you remember back to. We're stealing it from these kids. The glory days from Bruce Springsteen. I mean, these are the glory days for them, and we're taking them away.
That just boggles my mind.
It just breaks my heart.
Well, I will say it's a little bit more extreme, I think, for the kids in the States than it is for ours. I mean, certainly since the end of the summer, the UK, all the kids have returned back to school. You know, it's perfectly reasonable. I mean, they were surprised. They never caused any correlation between that and the rates going up of detection after the kids went back, because that's the last thing they want over here is the kids off. It's very interesting the way that isn't the case in the States. Actually, the lefty, liberal, Antifa-driven kind of side of the schooling, from what I've seen, is very much using that. What you just said, Cammy, there with regards to the PE, the sports teachers, using wishy-washy political excuses on health and safety grounds or whatever, so that they can't basically go back and do the job. Which the net impact in that profession is what we're seeing here with Donnie and countless others. Maybe not as severe over here because they're back at, but everybody's had 6 months of their lives, nearly a year now for the kids in the States, just taken away from them. It's just a straight block.
And again, the irony is it's all pick and choose, because like the bus rides, for instance, the buses are packed. They're full buses, and so the distancing doesn't apply for the bus rides because they don't have a workaround for that or whatever. So it's a pick and choose. It's just kind of like, I don't know if you saw the news in China, but China flight attendants are now required to wear diapers. Seriously, because the flight attendants in China now, part of their mandatory uniform is disposable diapers, because they've deemed the lavatories as too high of a contagious area for them to step into. And so they were required to wear disposable diapers and pee in their diapers on duty.
So we get to be surrounded by the employees walking around and pee and poop for sanitary reasons? Is that what I'm understanding?
That's exactly what you're understanding.
Gotcha.
Is now that diapers are going to become uniforms. I mean, they'll work themselves into as part of the mask and the diaper. Before, when we said put a diaper on your face, now they're like, oh, diapers, yeah. What a great idea. We're going to have them wear masks and diapers. Let's mask off your face, make you rebreathe it, and then sit in your feces and your urine. If you don't get sick that way, you're not gonna get sick, you know.
So everywhere is going to smell like a nursing home.
Yes.
Exactly.
A new airplane experience too. That's going to be Pretty soon they're required on all the passengers too, as nobody can use the bathrooms. Everybody has to wear a diaper.
It's horrible.
Oh well, I want to go back to the guests. I'm sorry I talked.
Talking about our kids there, Cammy, just on that last thing, I think Archie, my youngest, he'd probably be on board with that. It's another hour's gaming. He could just sit there and not have to go to the toilet, actually get out of his chair. He'd probably take that option. So.
Oh, South Park. That reminds me of South Park. Cartman playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Bathroom! Mom, bathroom! She brings down the... Oh, I don't know. Okay.
So as miserable as all this virtual learning is, and having to be socially distanced from all of your friends and all of your outlets from being able to deal with the frustrations of this jacked up school system, describe to everybody what it was when you first saw them reporting on the COVID and what it sort of did to you after seeing what they were saying about it.
Well, at first, it was all me and my friends at our lunch table, and we were looking at some news, and it showed that some people immigrated to China, from China to the States, like 5 to 12 people or something around the entire United States. We just all laughed at it and called it the Kung Flu virus. And like a month or two later, I was in my friend's car. The numbers were up tremendously. And I thought to myself, oh my God, is this it? Is this the end of the world? And sure enough, up to like 50 million or something in the States, and still feel the same way.
Those old men, you said that to us in the week, Donnie, and Josh's reaction there, we snigger at that, yeah, because we've been through at least three, maybe 4 times the amount of life you've had, so we're used to this. We've seen the ups and downs, and actually, it does resonate with me and how impactful all of this must be for you guys, because there's no barometer to show you how crazy this is, and to bring it back to some reality. There's no grounding sticks either to show that this is an errant state or anything to keep yourself sane. So when you say, shit, is this the end? I can well imagine that, that feeling and emotion, and maybe that's why we're seeing this spike in mental health issue, particularly in youngsters. There's nothing to contain it. There's nothing to rationalize it, because if you listen to your information sources, then unless you're really woke or clued up, you know what I mean, all you're getting is that impending Armageddon. So, yeah.
It's like do you know how it felt like when you got grounded? I don't know if the rest of the adults in here got grounded as often or as long as I did, but you could get grounded for 2 weeks and it would feel forever. Like the date you could have been out on, the things that you were missing, not being able to talk on the phone or whatever. I mean, a 2 week was just a death sentence. It really, really could be. Mm-hmm. It's like these kids, we've grounded them for months and months and months, and it's like you wonder at 2 weeks, like, will I ever get out again? Will I ever? It's never ending for them, though. I mean, especially in teenage time frame. You think it feels like it's been going on forever for us. Just remember how quickly time seems to fly now compared to how it went.
Mm-hmm.
But you were even a bit incredulous when they started throwing these numbers out there, weren't you? You said there was something fishy from the beginning. You weren't buying it.
No.
What was it specifically that just sort of jumped out at you that just said, well, that doesn't make any sense. Something's not right here.
How they were explaining that it was just like the flu and that it would go away, but also in the same one or a different news feed, it said that it's one of the worst viruses ever and that it might affect the country insanely. Just, it didn't make any sense to me. It was really, really fishy.
And the ability...
You're hearing it from, 2 totally opposite spectrums.
Yeah. And sometimes they said the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And most people don't have the attention span, really, to put those 2 together, to make that connection. It's all just background noise for a lot of people. So most people don't realize that they're getting all this contradicting information. But they are, and what it leaves them with is absolutely nothing. They know no more than they did before, because 1 minute eggs are good for you, the next day eggs are bad for you.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the COVIDs. It's the flu. And it's got a 99.096 recovery rate, but that 0.04 people is going to require us to shut down the entire planet just to make sure that nobody else dies. And it's all of this contradicting information. And now that people are forced to wear masks, they have to stay home. They have to work from home. They have to not work at all. There's all this now upheaval, and nobody knows anything. They've got vaccines coming out, and we know very little more than we did 9 months ago. We're still trying to figure out what the hell to do. Nobody knows what to do. Even for people that are trying to wake up, what do you do? If every store out there is going to mandate masks, how do you survive? And I'll be damned if I did not hear this past week of the actual COVID coming out, the certificate of vaccination identification, the COVID, to allow you to get out there and do things. You don't want to have to wear a mask. You want to come and go as you want in the store? Fine. All you got to do is get this little identification card saying that you've been vaccinated with the COVID vaccine, and now your life is easy. Oh, by the way, we've got to restructure our entire debt, and the dollar's not going to be able to be sustained anymore, so we've got to introduce a whole new currency, and it looks like digital currency is the way to go. So now, on top of your vaccine identification, we're just going to go ahead and throw in a little chip so that you can all have your money and your funds transferred over from the U.S. dollars to the new Amero, or whatever it is, the digital Amero. It's chaos. It's crazy. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. I cannot imagine being 13 years old, watching these adults running around like chickens with their heads cut off, not knowing anything. It's got to be a little bit scary, watching everybody just being helpless to the people that you thought had this stuff under control. That's nuts.
It's crazy.
But aside from COVID, I think your mom has sort of kept you questioning things, and she has been pointing out things to you your whole life, sort of things that don't make sense and things that don't add up. So you're pretty well versed sort of in the conspiracy world. So you're going to get out
Very
there.
much so.
You do your own research and you're questioning absolutely everything. And it's that mentality, I think, is what defines the flat earth movement. People say flat earthers and they think disk in space, water falling off the edge. Yeah. I think it's the ability to question everything. It's having the guts to stand up to the people that say they know what they're talking about and to critically analyze the words that they're saying and question them on the things that literally don't make any sense. When so many kids are just out there to regurgitate, to do the least amount of work to get the best grade that they can. They're not interested in education. They're interested in getting their diploma, their degree, and moving forward so they can get out and get the job and make all sorts of money so they can get the nice cars and the big house and all the stuff that everybody else wants to go out there and do, because that's the way to do it, to perpetuate the machine. But at 13, you're learning to rage against it, and I absolutely love it. So what other things have sort of piqued your interests before COVID? What other things have you researched that really just sort of blew your mind?
I actually did research a little bit on the flat earth stuff before the COVID.
Really?
Some of my friends told me to search it up just because of how stupid it was, they said. And I searched it up. It was all stuff about how it was so stupid and that it made no sense and debunking per se. And I just thought, well, what's the matter with it? It's a whole different way of thinking. And everybody just spits it out and says it's wrong.
Yep.
Laughs at them.
And that's, again, part of the trouble with that public school system is the fact that that's what you're taught to do. Anything that goes against what you were taught to regurgitate, then you're going to have to just reject whole cloth because it must not be worth a damn. Anything worth a damn would have been taught to you in your public school system. People believe that. I think I just jacked up my microphones.
It sounds
my
good
headphones.
again. It did for a sec, yeah.
That's weird. What the hell just happened? I don't know. I'll be all right. I can function. Although I think
You're a little quieter. Donnie, you speak just to.
Hello?
Yeah, still sounds pretty good.
Can I?
still sounds like everybody's quieter. I just crank it all up. Let's see what happens. At least till the dogs get barking or whatever.
I got
So
the
we-
visual from that movie, Back to the Future, with the crank it up on the amplifier and the blowout. But go ahead.
So were you able to find anything that was promoting a flat Earth when you were searching through there?
Took me 30 minutes, yeah.
Wow. And most people won't spend 3 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
It's like 99% of the stuff was all just laughing at it.
Can I ask Donnie then? Obviously, respect to your perseverance, but as an inquisitive individual, and you go to the data mine that is Google, what did you think? Where if this flat Earth thing is so interesting, why can't I find any information, or why can I only find debunking? What were your thoughts on that?
I thought that something that's just constantly laughed at and that I can't really find any real information on, I thought that it might have somewhat the truth. Like how the government and the internet is just taking it down because it's closest to the truth than probably anything else. And whenever I was called in to do this podcast by my mother that one night, and I heard that you guys were flat earthers, I thought, wow, these guys actually know what's up. And I 100% am going to do this.
Awesome.
So you haven't really had any of the questions that you have answered.
Mm-mm.
Awesome. Okay. Well, not awesome. It's horrible because you went looking, for this information and weren't able to find it. So that really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, with your mind already, knowing that there are nefarious people out there and they do hide things from us, you not being able to find this made you want to even search it more.
Mhm.
Awesome.
And like an hour before I drove in to do the podcast, I was constantly just searching to see if I could find anything. I think I found one video, and it was just all feelings. I didn't really find any answers in it.
Mm-hmm.
It just was a major disappointment.
Well, yeah, we have videos of the head of YouTube in front of Congress saying that, yes, they will suppress flat Earth videos.
Mm-hmm.
That if you actually do find a video that is supporting flat Earth, the next, 20 suggestions are going to be videos showing why that video is so dumb. So yeah, they're not even trying to hide it. You were right. You were absolutely right by thinking that.
God, it used to be so
Bring
easy.
it on. Bring it on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
Yeah, they like playing their cloak and dagger stuff, Adam. You know that.
I remember when it was hard to find a flat Earth video because there weren't any.
I remember that time.
Man. Now there's just so damn many, they've got to partition it off and hide it from the whole rest of everybody. That's nuts.
I'm going to take this time for your friend and plug that, like, 4 videos and some of the best over the years from all kinds of channels. Globusters runs a Globusters 2. You can search out Globusters 2, and it's a 24/7 flat Earth feed of videos from the last 5 years, like some of the best from a lot of people in the community. So, because again, it's hard to get some type of feed and things going. And then for current stuff, David Weiss in this Flat Earth app. I'll let Zach, do you want to talk about his app, or I always get the name?
Yeah, I'll let you know. I forget. Flat Earth, Sun and Moon Zodiac Clock app.
Perfect.
Yeah. And if you want to actually not even talk to your friends about it, just say, hey, watch this stupid video right here, and give them one with this guy explaining the model. This guy, David Weiss is my flat Earth ambassador as far as talking to people who have no idea about it. This guy, he's got it down. He's done hundreds of interviews now, and he's very good at getting, the idea of the flat Earth and what we actually know about this place we live and can go, and explore. He's very good at explaining it, and he's just got a great personality and a good attitude about the way he does it. It's fun. He makes it fun. But that's one way to do it. If your friends won't look at you seriously, say, hey, watch this flat Earth idiot, blah, 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 and then see what happens.
That's it right there.
Are y'all fixed? You're holding something up.
I was holding up my phone with my copy of the app so that he could take a look at it. And it's got all sorts of bells and whistles and things that it does and can do. And
oh, yeah, it's amazing. I couldn't even start to explain all the stuff. He does, though, on a lot of his videos. Yeah, if you have a lot of questions, even after today, maybe we don't cover it just right. That's a good channel to go to just to get the basics down.
I will 100% go to that.
Yeah.
The app itself, Donnie, is quite useful, I think, to help you visualize. Not just as a model, not a reification, as that's what's actually happening. But one of the kind of criticisms is, well, I just do night work on a flat Earth and things. And that app, along with, I'm not sure Cam is the best to talk to, but with regards to the transitions of the orbit around the plane that both the sun and moon make, that is the calendar, the true calendar that we should be using. But if you look at all of that, it will show you seasons, it will show you times, and it will show you how we get day and night. It's a very good way to kind of visualize what we don't know is out there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said, Ed. So what's the biggest issue, the biggest problem with the flat Earth and your idea of what the flat Earth is? I know you haven't heard too much about it, and you sound like someone who's not going to jump to conclusions, but just from what you've been taught so far, just the first thing that pops in your mind, why would this idea sound so stupid?
Like Antarctica. I've heard about that, and it just seems kind of weird. I mean, I'm not necessarily against it. It just doesn't make much sense to me.
On the flat Earth model?
Yeah, on the flat Earth model. I've looked at so many pictures of it, and how Antarctica is just in a circle around the Earth.
And
Well, I
maybe
like
it's.
to think of it. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was just going to say, and it may not be a perfect circle. It could just
Yeah, I
be
know.
some irregular pond shape. But when you think of it, just think of it like the bank of a pond.
Whoa there, Leslie. Who's showing me this ice wall all around the known continents that we've got on our maps right now? Who's got any recorded? I can go down to just south of Argentina, and somebody will show me a couple of cliffs that might be a couple of miles long. Nobody says that I'm surrounded by a perimeter of ice. I've no evidence for that.
No, I didn't say that either.
No,
No,
I'm not having a go. I'm saying
Yeah.
that's what's painted to us.
Yeah.
That's what's ascribed to us flat earthers, that we're
Like a Game of Thrones
Either a-
type
yeah,
wall
either-
holding everything in.
yeah. Well, either that or a pizza in space. You know what I mean? A flying pizza in space, and that edge is what's stopping everything falling off. But there's two types. But I think what I was sarcastically making it, Donnie, is we don't ascribe to anything because we don't know what it is. So we don't need to paint a new paradigm that we don't know. We're happy in our skin knowing what we don't know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's a thing called the Antarctic Treaty. think it was started in 1958, maybe. Something like that, right around the same time NASA was started. Maybe it was 55. But, I mean, people were whaling down there. They had, you know, all kinds of, there was stuff going on down there. There was little small cities and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, they said, okay, nobody's allowed to go to Antarctica and build anything anymore because of, what is it, penguins, some seals, and a couple birds. There is no plant life. There's some algae that grows on the rocks. That's about it. But they turned the whole of Antarctica into a nature preserve. Does that make any sense to you? And this was before, oh, you don't even understand. Before you were born, none of the whole environment thing mattered at all. The whole, we're going to save the environment and this and that, none of that stuff had even started yet. We were pumping pollution out like it was, like we were doing it on purpose. So there was no save the environment thing anywhere. And this was like one of the first, you know, besides national parks and stuff like that, but this was like the first giant habitat like this that they just closed off to the world.
World superpowers that were publicly at war could somehow find it in themselves to get along in Antarctica.
There was a gentleman, Admiral Byrd, who went down there and said there's, you know, uranium, coal, there's enough stuff down here, you know, you could probably just everything. The size of America was on the opposite side of the pole, he said, that had never been seen by man. And was just huge and full and vast, full of resources, and we were going to be spending a lot of time down in Antarctica. And then a few years later, they closed it off.
Yeah, he went down there, explored it, found some pretty odd things. Rumor has it he ran into some, well, his last expedition was a military one. It wasn't meant to be scientific or exploratory. They went down there with military. And when they came back, they immediately drew up the Antarctic Treaty, said nobody else can go down there for any other reason but science. And then they started mounting nuclear bombs on top of rockets and launching them straight up and exploding them in the atmosphere. For whatever reason.
You say came back, Josh. Was it come back or ran off? There's a supposition there was...
Yeah.
Well,
ran off with your tail between your legs. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of heard we limped back as well, too, wasn't it?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't come back with all our forces that we sent out.
Whatever military exercise, whatever they were doing, whatever combat, whatever fight it was, they lost in Antarctica. And then they shut it down. Then they drew up the Antarctic Treaty, and then they started testing the boundaries of the sky, in my opinion.
Now, if you just still have this question in a few months and you get to Flat Earth Advanced, I have some different potential, like I look at possibilities. So if you still are really into this and they get a month or two after you're delving in and want to know, I have some different land layouts that are, again, if it's something you're interested in, I'd love to have your thoughts on it. Just based on old maps and old different things. On all of the old maps, Antarctica was two pieces, by the way. It was West Antarctica and East Antarctica, and it looks like on the maps they shoved them together awkwardly. But it almost another, like an easy way of looking at it is the West Antarctica, the huge piece is what we visit with all the bases and that under Australia. West Antarctica is that big tongue that hangs out under South America. And then there's other probably undercontinents and that, like pieces of land that we have bases and that and doing that. But if you think about what the sun would do going out in a circle, at some point it's not going to reach, and where it doesn't reach and get cold, you're going to have also areas of ice walls just by virtue of freezing. And so it's not, not necessarily Antarctica stretched with the bases all the way around. There are different ways to look at it. So yeah, a lot to think about. The best thing right now is we can't go out there. We don't know. So no thoughts really should until we can get out and touch it. We don't know.
Yeah, that's the most interesting part about it is you have to get permission from all these different countries that have signed the treaty to go and do some kind of scientific research there. And then they can turn you down, and it's like, it's a lot of money to apply for this stuff. And then when you go on your boat, like there's no food on deck past the 60th degree parallel. There's no fuel that you can carry with you past the 60th degree parallel. There's all these stipulations that make it almost impossible. It really does. To try to do it on your own, it would be ridiculous amounts of money. And if you weren't doing it for, you know, you would be watched the whole time you were there, and you would have to stay on a certain path, what you said you were going to do. You couldn't just go off and start exploring. They don't allow it.
And you'll notice that none of your expeditions that people say that when they travel across Antarctica, they're going to start under Australia and Antarctica there. They're going to travel to the so-called pole and meander back, or the same under South America. But you never have any expedition that you like get on a boat from South America, go to Antarctica, travel across, get out and come up Australia. It's never happened. People say that when they've tried to do it and not just turn around and come back, that the fees for like on something or other I was looking at, it jumped from like 60,000 to over 600,000 to be able to do. I mean, something's really absurd. I don't have the numbers right, but I do remember it was a complete, it just made no sense at all to try to come out the other side. And it's like, yeah, because they can't do it. They can't do it. We know that there's pieces of land that they can get like people across, and you can step and see a ceremonial pole in that, but that's not the whole of it.
So, Donnie,
So the short answer is we have no clue what's out there.
Yep.
That's the best answer.
Yeah.
So what we can do is take a look at what we're told is out there and examine it with critical eyes and say, well, how does this stack up? Is this believable? Does this make sense? And at first glance, I suppose, when you're neck deep in the indoctrination and you don't bother to question it, then it makes sense as long as you don't think about it too much. But when you start looking at the videos that the ISS is giving us, and you can see astronauts obviously hanging on harnesses, when they're obviously using chroma key and green screen and computer-generated images and graphics.
CGI, yeah.
Yep. Then you have to wonder why. Well, what would be the point? Why are they faking it? If they're up there, why don't they just show us? Why do they need to fake it? And that goes back to the moon landing and beyond. It's almost every aspect. And now even SpaceX and what will be Space Force. These are all things we're going to have to try to stay up and take the time to look at critically and see where it is they're lying to us.
And just to get back to Antarctica real quick, you know, a lot of scientists, they want to be the first, or adventurers. They want to be, you know, the first person to do this or the first person to do that. In 2015, there's this thing in the, before 2015, there's this thing in the north. It's called the Arctic Midnight Sun. And the sun does not set in the sky. Once you get so far north in the summertime, because the sun's circle is so small, the sun doesn't go down. It just stays up in the sky and goes around you in a big circle over 24 hours. And, you know, it's been documented plenty of times. You know,
My husband has seen it in person.
Way back, this was documented. You know, I'm sure there was a guy that was like, look, I'm the first person to show this. Document it. Now, in the South, what they want to tell you, right? The Antarctic, well, this would happen too. Well, in 2015, when I went looking for this, there was not one video showing this anywhere. A midnight sun in Antarctica. Not one video showing it go around you in a circle. There was a couple that were like showing the sun from Antarctica moving in the sky, and then it would clip, and then it would just go and move in the sky again, and he would show you the clock, how it changed on his wrist. And that was his proof. But there was no video of it, you know, 24 hours, like there were so many from the north. Now, wouldn't you think that the first person to see the midnight sun in Antarctica would have been like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the first person to do this in history? But nobody did it. And they had bases down there for decades, and nobody recorded the sun going around them. Not one time. Because it does not take place. It doesn't happen.
You remember the first time you saw that spoof video on Globebusters?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That did me. I was like, oh, shoot.
I know.
Why?
And then I think it was only a couple of days later, Jaron had it picked apart. He found all the layers being overlaid.
No, he's talking the one, the Friends of Yahweh, the spoof one that Andrew Latchgate did of him. That was saying that, eat crow, Jaron, I have the film. We're busy, but for you, I made and he did the little cartoon one, and then his green screen fell down.
Yeah, that was great.
Because we really had Jaron going on that one. That was it was so good to do when we did it live too. That was so. We got him. I mean, it was, or I didn't have any part of it, but it was just fun to watch him cringe, this and that, and then it was a good one. A spoof video. You had to be there, I guess. Adam, you started it.
I just remember the impact. You know when your heart sinks, you go, oh, thank God for that. The green screen's got me out. You know what I mean? But because it's such a fun. The point of me raising that, Donnie, was this is such a fundamental thing. If we are on a sphere, then the top of the sphere and the bottom of the sphere, even given their rotation, we should see the same thing. We should, in the summer in the south, they should have the same 24-hour sun at the same latitudes as we see in the north. And this was the thing that, as Zach says, nobody could see. And oddly, as you say there, Zach, nobody had bothered to do it. When it was in the north, it was something to record. It's a worthy event, Northern Lights. But for some reason, these same, what should be proofs of a ball, don't. It's not that they're not there. They're kind of. I forgot the word. Kind of. Not.
I know it. Yeah.
What's the word? I forgot.
The obvious and the
over.
Yeah, we just skip right over it. We
don't even mention it.
Don't mention it. We gloss over. Gloss over is what you were looking for. Is glossed over.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about that proof is it's a fun one because of the fact that if you really could see the rotating at the pole and that, like they say in the globe, it would support both models, because in the flat Earth model we have a lot to learn about the sky and we don't know how it works. But if you can't see it, it's one of those that is almost backwards on the sticks. Aristophanes sticks or whatever. It's like a complete backwards concept of it, that with seeing it, it works in both models, but if you don't see that sun going around, it does not work in the globe Earth model at all. You have to. The globe Earth model demands it. The flat Earth model, we're learning what our skies look like, but the flat Earth model demands it. Or the globe Earth demands that you would have to see it. You would have to see the sun rotating 24 hours. And again, there's no reason at all why that wouldn't be. There wouldn't be any videos out there. Now they're trying to push a few, but again, it's only been after hard, a lot of people putting out videos, and that, again, like that spoof video showed, it's a really easy thing to spoof. We had somebody do we finally filmed it and acting as a scientist and doing a response. And he did the sun going all the way around, but then his equipment fell, and you could tell that it was just CGI. And it's like, yep. So it was pretty much saying that when they show it to you coming up in the next year or so, peek at it, because it's not real.
So is there anything maybe from the Earth that they've taught us all and that they're teaching you in school? Is there anything that really you have a hard time getting past, something that's really kind of hanging on and saying, well, you know, I get that the Earth could be flat, but there's this one thing that just really makes me still think that it's might be a ball?
It's mainly just the sun and the moon. It really just doesn't make much sense sometimes with the flat Earth and how they describe how the sun and moon work. I don't know. I've just been shown this one certain way. I still can't quite get myself around the fact that the sun moves that way.
It is a little bit goofy, but when you really start to think about the model and the way that sun moves, and well, just imagine you're watching the sunset, right? You're standing outside on dusk, and there goes the sun. Now, in their model, what's happening is the sun isn't really setting, right? Because the Earth is spinning, and that's what's making it dark. So in reality, if you're watching the sun, you're going backwards. You're spinning at near 1,000 miles an hour backwards, away from the sun, and that's why it's going down. And that's what they have to be able to prove, is that motion. How can they prove that it's us spinning away from the sun versus the sun getting further away from us? And that the sun is going to disappear from the bottom up, because that's how light works when it passes through a lens. So whether you're looking at a lens through your eyeball or you're taking a picture of the sun and it's a camera and your eyeball, all these lenses will affect the way that light behaves, and it's going to make things disappear from the bottom up as it gets further away. So it's going to look like the sun is disappearing. And then the moon, and this is the crux of it, I think, is that we don't know what the sun and the moon are. We can look up there and we can see them. They are definitely there, but we don't know what they are. We don't know how far away they are. We don't know what they're made of. We have their stories of what they've told us. But again, once you start applying that critical thought and being able to logic out, well, how in the hell would you even know what the sun is made out of? How do you know what powers the sun?
Yeah.
How do you know how far away the sun is? How do you calculate that? Well, we base it on the distance from this other planet that we've decided is going to be the exact same size as Earth. And based on that assumption, we can assume then that the sun is 93 million miles away. So if we make this assumption and assume the Earth is a ball and assume that Venus is the same size as Earth, and then we can assume that the sun is 93 million miles away, because that's how science works. And that's what everybody's taught as fact. And that's the brainwashing we still have to try to break and get our head around.
Yet there's no proof for either of them.
Exactly. All we have are lights in the sky. We can see the sun. We know the sun is there. So when we see things like that awesome solar eclipse that we had a few years back, and the sun is completely blocked out, and they say, well, that's the moon. Obviously. Think, well, cool, because there's the moon right in front of the sun. Well, why don't we see it before it gets to the sun? How come we don't see the moon at all except the silhouette of it in front of the sun?
Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense to me.
You would think it would light up nice and bright as it approached the sun and got closer. Then eventually it would eclipse it, and then you'd go dark, but you don't see it at all. So why would you assume that it's the moon? And then
Could be anything, really.
It could. So then we have to start looking back at what ancients thought and some of the stories all of the stories that have been told about what the moon is. Not just this big dusty rock up there that we send astronauts to plant a flag, but time before the moon, biblical stories. I mean, there's all sorts of things we have to look at to try to get a good grasp of what it is when we look up in the sky and see that weird ass light.
Yet science and NASA just say, oh, that's wrong.
That's wrong. It's nonsense is what they say. They don't know what they're talking about. Just listen to us and our harnesses and our green screen and our made up stories and assumptions.
And that's CGI websites.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to pay the good money to listen to. That is so weird.
Popping again.
Yeah. I don't know what is going on. It's like it went quiet all over again.
I have a visual I'd like him to try for us. We've all done it, but I don't know if he has. I want you to picture when you think of the sun in their model, when they're telling you that the sun is 8 light minutes away. And you've seen pictures of the itty bitty Earth and how much bigger than the sun is. I take it you remember seeing those photos?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember that's 8 light minutes away. Now, I want you to think about what is our closest star, how many light years, not light. Again, this is 8 light minutes, not 8 light hours or 8 light days or months or this, but 8 light minutes. It went from this huge thing that was so much bigger to us down to this tiny dime-sized in the sky or quarter in the sky type of object, right?
Mhm.
Now they're telling us that these stars, some of them are over 400,000 light years. I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
Light years, not light minutes, not days.
Mhm.
That and how big they're trying to tell us these are, that we see it, and that light travels that far. Do you see a candle forever? That a lot of the things on it is, why don't we see Paris from New York or things like that? When, with the atmosphere and different things in between, when can you see that far? How, if there's a light, how far do you get away before you don't see it anymore? There's a point that, again, between angular resolution and eyesight limitations, you can do it. So they've blown up everything to beyond absurd proportions in order to do that. But what about, where are the other mid-sized things in between us and that? Why does everything
Mhm.
just resonate to this almost same size of the twinkling stars? There's not a whole lot of angular difference in your biggest and your smallest.
And that's
And
what doesn't
where
make
is
sense.
all the mid-sized and the different ones if the universe is? And again, think 8 light minutes on the sun compared to the distances they're giving us to, again, the North Pole is how far away
Closest
now?
one is, the North Star is 330 light years or something, 400 something light years.
And again, that sun took
Hundreds
8
of
minutes to
years.
get that tiny. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Just sit and really ponder that in your mind.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
So can you remember one of the first things that went against the grain of what you were taught? Like some of the things that your mom might have been saying, or some of the things that you kind of seen for yourself that just didn't add up with what you were taught as you were approaching your ripe old age of 13?
Trying to think. It probably would be the sun.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It doesn't really make any sense.
Smart mom.
And it was mainly just me thinking about that to myself. I just wondered, how does the sun really look this small over here, and how it lights up our entire Earth? And then whenever I keep thinking about it, like, okay, it's 93 million miles away. They told us so many times in school that it, like you said, takes 8 light minutes. None of it added up. But
It can't. You can't wrap your head around. It's so
I can't.
stupid. You're
I'm
like,
just,
how
like,
how
trying
did
to
anybody buy
think.
this?
Just trying to think about it at all, and I don't know.
It's frustrating. It really is. And really, even the teachers teaching you aren't going to have an answer.
No.
They're going to...
No, that's why there will be no discussion.
That's why I just don't ask them.
Yeah, this is the answer. You regurgitate this answer, you get a good grade.
Even when
That's
I was
how-
going to school, it wasn't even like the teacher was teaching us that. It was Bill Nye who was teaching us that. Like, we still used computers almost the same amount when we went to school.
Absolutely. I don't doubt that one bit.
At my son's school last year, one of his math teachers used a Professor Dave video. Sad excuse for a teacher. I'm sorry.
That would be the whole class period. And now it still is.
Right, they do. They say that they play these videos and that for the kids and call it teaching. So you would think it would be easier to go to virtual learning if that's...
Yeah.
Because he did this one in class, and I was like, you saw Professor Dave in class.
Or we just saw some random Indian dude explaining to us all of the math answers.
Yeah, but they only explain to you how to do them and put in the numbers, though, right?
Yeah.
Yep. One of my favorite teachers, you can check out all his videos on YouTube, Walter Lewin. He taught at MIT for 4 decades.
Oh, wow.
But one of his most famous, well, my favorite quote of his is, "If you only know the name, then you know nothing." And I think he was poking at all these other physicists who go out there and make all these grand claims and think because they can write a mathematical equation to explain it that they comprehend anything. Yeah, he was a really good teacher, and he kind of got ran out of MIT, lost his tenure, all kinds of stuff. Over lewd comments over a Skype chat or something like that, or over a comment.
Oh God.
Like, yeah, a text or something like that. Yeah, it was weird. But the way he taught, he was teaching kind of more reality than they wanted him to be teaching, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can see his last semester in 2011 on YouTube. He did the whole thing. You can pretty much get an MIT physics education for free watching all his videos. It's pretty neat.
I'll bet.
But yeah, a lot of these, physicists and whatnot, professors, they know all the equations backwards, forwards, and they can do them. They can use them, but they don't really comprehend what they're saying in the physical world.
Scott Level Realm in chat says, "Ha! It's meant to suck. Then it makes learning boring. Therefore, many unlearned people as a result." And that's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you have that thirst for knowledge at 13, I think, is amazing, because most 13-year-olds are already tuned out to information and knowledge and trying to educate themselves and looking to dig and research more. Most of them are at best willing to accept what their teacher says, but usually they just want to do as little as possible and not go to school at all and don't give a rat's ass about education or learning or making themselves better. So the fact that you're out there hunting and searching and researching and re-finding, I think, is awesome. So what kind of things are you looking forward to in the future? I guess it's really kind of hard to be that optimistic at this point, but well, you're 13. What are you looking to be when you grow up?
Well, I
Don't say an astronaut.
was actually thinking of being an animator.
Awesome.
Sweet.
I've been doing pretty well in art classes, you would say, and I don't know, I've just been drawing a lot recently. I've been wanting to do this since I was like 8 or 9 years old. And
Stick with it, man.
mm-hmm,
That's awesome.
I like searched up
What's your favorite?
what degree you have to be to actually get a professional.
Well, that's the beauty about art, is you don't necessarily need a degree. You just need a decent stroke and some basic knowledge. Well, you have a little bit of knowledge here in this area, do you not?
I'd say I do.
Hi, Donnie. Sorry, I am so late. I'm an old man, and I can only say that's my excuse. I'm old and overslept my nap, so my apologies. Yes, that is true. Having the inborn talent that sparks that drive for you to want to be an artist is amazing. I was also gifted with that, I guess, at an early age. I drew, in fact, most of my first grade year was spent in the back drawing because I finished the first grade reading book in about 10 minutes, or books for the first grade. Anyway, drawing's great. Keep at it. But there are technical things you do need to have under your belt if you're going to pursue it as a career. There just are standards in just about any field you go into, especially animation. You can sew stuff together sitting right there, literally on your phone. I've animated like a little bird figuring out the earth is flat on my phone. So it is easy to do, but it also looks like something that I animated on my phone. So, dude, that's amazing though. Animation is one of the things I love and wanted to be able to figure out how to do. And once I did that one round, I'm like, this will take the rest of my life. So I'm not an animator now, but I love drawing and definitely would love to see some of your artwork at some point. My son actually was looking at doing computer animation at one point and checked into some schools, both local and nationally here in the States. So I can ask him, he's not here, but I can ask him at some point, what he found, some of the ones that were offering the better, kind of help you out things rather than loans, more like grants, that kind of stuff. So I definitely will find out for you if I can to kind of help you know some places that might be a little more animation oriented than just classical art oriented.
What's your favorite cartoon?
I don't really.
I think mine's Rick and Morty, or maybe Archer. I'm not sure.
I'd
I
probably
don't know
say
if
Rick
you're
and
allowed
Morty.
to watch those yet.
Archer just got a little bit for me. I'd probably say Rick and Morty. Yeah.
I like Phineas and Ferb.
Or maybe The Simpsons, just because it's been around for 31 years and I've always watched it.
Yeah.
I'm with
When I
Joey.
was your age, I watched it a lot.
I was gonna say I was big into Simpsons when I was 13. But back then, Bart Simpson was a rebel. Bart Simpson pushed the envelope back in the day.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
He doesn't now?
Not
Hard
really.
to believe.
What? I haven't watched it in so long. That's just insane.
Well, it's so tame. I think everything else has just gotten so out of.
I mean, it's Disney
hand.
now. The Simpsons is Disney. Kind of has to be tame.
Guess that's right. It's Fox, huh?
Yeah, but that's not how it got here for sure. I haven't watched in years, truthfully.
Nor have
But
I.
it was the animation show that shook everything up 20 years ago or 40 years ago or whatever the hell it's been. I guess 40 at this point. For sure.
The Tracy Ullman Show.
Yes, sir. Tracy Ullman Show, interstitials. Yes.
Loved it.
Tracy Ullman. She was one of those girls that were in the early 80s, was famous over here, and then disappeared and became a superstar over there. And then we don't even know of her really now.
Nobody does.
Now we don't even. Yeah, she's kind of faded away a bit. She was doing some like parts in other people's shows for a while that I saw, and but yeah, I really loved her. Loved her style, loved her edge, loved the people she had around her. Because a lot of the people that were in her show wound up being the voices that are now
on The Simpsons, yeah.
Look, you've got old men reminiscing now.
Yeah, memory lane.
When we were your
When I was a
age.
kid, animation was drawn with sticks and dirt.
Charcoal on paper, one page at a time.
You just had to run past the dirt drawings really fast.
Really fast.
10 6-year-olds all out there on each page, making them go real fast. Getting them out, pumping them out, one after the other. I heard Animaniacs has a new season that they rebooted.
It does indeed, and it feels old. It really feels exclusively.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Yeah, they've really done it again really well. I even like the Pinky and the Brain segments again. I was afraid they would ruin them. But, yeah.
Pinky's the genius, just saying.
I've been telling people that, Zach.
Well, Narf.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody is delusional and megalomaniacal to the point that he thinks he's going to every night try and take over the entire world, that's obviously insane, right?
When did we start talking about Jeff Bezos? I'm so lost.
So if we have that one, so we know Brain is the one that's insane. So if one's a genius and the other's insane, and we know Brain's the insane one, what does that make Pinky? By deductive reasoning, we can conclude that Pinky is the genius. Now, when you go back and watch the old Pinky and the Brains, and as you watch the new Pinky and the Brains, listen to the things that Pinky says. Tell me he's not the fucking genius. Pardon my language.
Damn right.
Now you understand flat Earth logic, Donnie.
Just makes you think about stuff more.
Trouble is, it tends to play true in real life.
Well, it really is sort of that mentality, that ability to look at something and be like, all right, well, I'm not just going to accept that for what it is. Let me look at it and question each and every part of it. I was watching a TV show about this was last night, and it made me laugh out loud, and that was pretty unusual. So it stuck in my brain. But it was a married couple. And the guy tells his wife, he says, I agree with every word that you're saying. I just don't agree with the point that they make when you string them together in a sentence. And I totally get that. Each individual part makes sense, but together as a whole, I can throw stuff out. So, but being able to stop and look at these things individually and analyze them and see, well, okay, together as a whole, is that even gonna work? Is that gonna make any sense? And being able to logically deduce, it's a skill. It's a habit you have to form. But I think that really is the key and the crux to being what they call the flat earther. But it's really just looking at the information that they're saying and analyzing it and being able to throw that BS out and having the balls to look at what they're saying and say, nope, some of what you're saying doesn't work. That doesn't add up. I think it's a very good exercise to ask your teacher these questions when you know that she's not going to really have a good logical answer, because all it does is highlight that all of these things that don't work, that they don't really have answers to. And that the things that they want you to accept as fact are just words that the person telling you has already accepted as fact, and that nobody is actually proving them or expecting it to be proven or testing it, checking the veracity of the statements. They're just regurgitating from one generation to the next. And expecting you to just believe it. It requires your faith. And I think that's where the real irony is that so many of these people that are stuck on science and evolution and dinosaurs only think that way because of their faith, because they've accepted that as their religion. But then if you accept, say, Christianity as your religion and you talk to them about faith, they will laugh at you and ridicule you. So many of them will. Because they think science is the answer, not religion. And they fail to realize that they haven't scienced anything, and all that they believe, again, is just their own private little religion that is fueled by their belief. But that's why we're here, to help pierce the veil of that twisted belief.
And it's more like a cult, because they don't know it's a religion. They think what they believe are facts that have been proven by their priests, because they've told them this. So they don't like the word religion. They don't. A lot of these people, not saying all of them, don't get me wrong, but about every atheist, I guarantee, believes in a globe model. You know, they have to. They cannot believe it's flat Earth. They couldn't even look into it. It would destroy their whole paradigm. But when you don't know that you have a belief and you think it's a fact, it's a scientific proven fact, you don't think it's a belief that you have. It's not a religion to you. Even though in reality none of this stuff is proven, your priest lied to you. You know, it's more of a cult than a religion.
I always like to giggle, Donnie, when people say to me, I don't believe in stuff, I'm an atheist. Always makes me laugh, that one, as you can then take them apart as they say that they don't believe in God. And you can ask them to then prove that, of which their answer will be then that it's just something they believe. So atheists are the most fundamentalist religious believers out there. They'll defend their position to the death and will never even comprehend the possibility of God. They're fundies, right? But they're fun to have with. Like I say, if you started on these debates, Toddy, you know, atheism's a great place to have a bit of fun, mate, because in most cases, it's a bit like with the Paulers, but more fundamentally, their initial place is a point of contradiction where they attack you on.
Yeah, it can be hard confronting people on this stuff. Telling people don't want to hear that, that they're in a religion like that. They don't.
Mainly because they've already got in their brain what religion is, and they've somehow been hurt by that. There's some sort of PTSD. Mom made them go to church when they didn't want to. Father McGillicuddy touched the altar boy in a way that he shouldn't have. One way or the other, there's going to be some trauma there that keeps them.
I really prayed for a kitten I didn't get on my third birthday or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know everything, and so when I prayed, God didn't answer my prayers the way that I wanted. So what the hell is wrong with God? Doesn't God know that I'm the smartest motherfucker? So that if I don't understand what God's doing, then God must not know what he's doing? Type of situation. And you don't realize that you're comparing apples and Buicks. It's not going to ever compute. And that some people just don't ever see that.
You'll see a lot of this as you grow up.
Yeah.
Or older. I don't want to say grow up. You sound very grown up already. As you grow older. Yeah, I'm more of a listener. I love listening to people talk.
Yeah.
Especially in groups. Other people having conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And you can learn so much just by paying attention. Actually paying attention to the conversation, observe sometimes. I don't know how you are amongst your friends, if you're the talkative one or not, but I always feel I learned a lot more sitting back and listening.
Yeah, I'm not usually the talkative one.
It's a good way to be. You observe a lot more that way. So just wondering, in your peers, how does this all seem to be going to them? Like, are they all just
I don't think they care much.
towing the line and going along with what mom and dad and teacher says? Or do you have rumblings from other friends that are saying, man, this is madness. This can't be right. Something is not working out with what I'm seeing around me.
Yeah, most of them are just going with what the teachers say and stuff like that. But I mean, every once in a while, whenever I talk to them, sometimes I say, "Oh my God, this is madness. There's no way this is really happening. It doesn't make any sense." And that's my friend that used to that lives down the street from me, but I can't hang out with him anymore.
See, that level of this is something that we forget as parents and grown-ups, that, we can pretty much come and go as we please, except for governmental intrusions. But you are not allowed that because the world and the craziness and all the stuff that's going on. So yeah, that does take it to a different level. Damn. If, well, I know when I was in school, the people that were the ones that kind of were not looking at things just the way the teacher said, or the way the church or the teacher, I had a little group. Luckily, I was able to kind of group with that. We would hang out and ask questions and look at at that point, there was not internet. So for us, the out there sources were things like crazy magazines. Inquirer was a magazine newspaper that, kind of had some really crazy out there stories back in the 70s and 80s. So it just finding that person, those people to talk to, is definitely a key to all of this. I think is to bounce the ideas back and forth with someone, a friend, online these days, sitting here like we do. I mean, that kind of is what we wound up doing here for this show, is getting to know people, finding out their story, hearing what they, how they got here, their path, their questions, what's making them go at the time, and just really let them also know that they're not the only ones asking these questions. They're not the only ones that think, hey, this is freaking madness. What are we doing here? So just don't lose the, I hate to say it, don't lose the faith. We just talked about religion, but don't lose that belief that you're not crazy, dude, and that this place is the madhouse that you're trying to figure out. So
Yeah.
it's good that you're asking these questions at such a young age. It truly is. I know quite a few 13-year, hell, I know quite a few 30-year-olds that are just completely just don't care. And they're ambivalent. I mean, they don't care at all about any of what could be fixed or what could be going on, or, you know, they're just happy with their little phone and their little beer time and their little game time, either sport ball or video or otherwise. Just whatever nice distraction they can figure out to keep from thinking these things, I guess, is the secret to how they get through these, just blindly following. I don't know. But yeah, it's good to hear someone asking these questions at your age, man. I'm heartened by it for sure.
Thank you. I mean, it's just how I think, really.
So do you have any other questions, like stuff you see in the flat earth debunk videos? What is some of the stuff that sounds plausible to you in those videos? Like, okay, they have a point, maybe.
Which way are you asking? Like the debunkers? Like, do they have a point, or
Yeah, any of the debunkers, any of the things that they say, like.
No, because there's no proof.
Like it.
There's no proof either way. And just the fact that they would say that this one way of thinking is wrong, it's just funny to me.
Yeah, because they don't do this to Bigfoot. They don't do this to alien, you know, abductee stories and all this. There's all this kind of stuff out there that people can talk about openly and free, and they're not as censored and this and that. But when it comes to this, there's like this reaction that people have, like they hate it. Not to where they could just hand wave dismiss it, you know, like other things. People saying it's like, okay, well, maybe that person's crazy. But this one, they get like they have to defend it for some reason. It's weird. It really is. But yeah, you should. Do you have any big bodies of water around you?
Yes.
That once all this nonsense finally blows over, and you know, things change. I don't want to say get back to normal, but when things change, and you guys and you and your buddies can get back out there, maybe, you know, maybe even in a couple years or whatnot, take them out there and show them the Earth curve calculator and all that stuff, and show them, hey, look, guys, we can see this stuff right now with our eyes sitting here, and the little calculator tells us we're supposed to be missing, you know, 20 feet of the curve should be blocking 20 feet of that, and we can see it. That's, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to work, because I've done this myself, and it just, like, when's the Bears game on now? You know, that's the reply I got. But maybe there are, you know, a couple of your buddies that are ready to, it's just easier when you have someone to talk to. It really is, man. I couldn't imagine knowing this stuff at your age and nobody else caring about it. I always had one or two other conspiracy theorists at school that I could, you know, talk to.
Nowadays, you can barely find any.
That's a shame, man.
Like, I remember looking around the school one time to see if there's anybody that I could really talk to about this type of stuff, or really anything. Kind of like this.
It's frustrating. I know it is. Because even at 38 or 39 or whatever it was when I got started into this, it's frustrating when you don't have anybody there that you feel like you can have a conversation with, where you don't have to explain a backstory every time, so you can actually have a flowing conversation with people that understand the words that you're saying and that think like you do and can comprehend, and you can bounce ideas off of. That's that real synergistic vibe. And it sucks when you don't have that. And it's amazing when you can get it. And that was really one of the purposes that we wanted to do with Iron Realm Media, was provide a platform for people to come and find, you know what? I just wish I had someplace that I could talk, somebody I could talk to this about. And we try to make ourselves available to do that. And I think on that vein, we may just go ahead and open up the flatline. See if there's anybody out there who wants to say hello, wants to give their kudos, or whatever. Let's see if I can pull up some text here.
On that, Josh, I wouldn't say to Donnie, you're not going to find these people opposite somebody you missed in the dinner hall. I had to truck all the way through the internet, all the way to the other side of the pond, to speak to the people, like I say, that you're looking for. So it's the internet is the thing. See, this is the point, Josh. I think we should get a little petition up for Donnie's mum to increase his internet time a little bit, not for gaming, but just for
socializing.
Yeah, I think I don't know, online petition, GoFundMe, I don't know what it is, but give me a phone number. I'll start phoning at silly hours in the morning. Stop when you've given him more hours. I don't know.
Like, it's something I've been asking my parents for. It's a flip phone. Because then I could just talk to anybody without, per se, getting on the internet, and it'd be amazing.
There's got to be something. I'm sure there's. I think I've got an old, not a flip phone per se, but I think it's like a slide phone. I think I've got a dummy phone around here somewhere. Shout out to Enlightened Dawn for the super chat. There was another one I scrolled by real fast. I remember seeing earlier. My apologies.
I think it was from Brian something.
Ooh, good call. Look at you go.
Yeah, I remember.
Thanks, Donnie.
Look at that. We gotta hire this guy.
No kidding. Better watch out, Alan.
Beat me to it, Zach. I was going to say, for a job, Donnie.
Yeah, but you're always welcome to come hang out.
Pay
here.
is not great, but yeah, the love is unbounded. So come on, hang out anytime. But truly, we're joking at this, but yeah, man, you are welcome anytime. Truly, I know that
this is an amazing.
It's hard to find people to talk to, so you're welcome to come talk with us, man. Anytime. Even off the air, you don't have to come be on the air. We talk away from the air too. In fact, that's usually when our better conversations happen. Is when we're doing our Wednesday thing. Although I missed this one last Wednesday.
It's awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been husbandry duties to do.
We're glad you could come hang out. And I suppose if we can just make it inconvenient enough to keep bringing you over so that you can hang out with us on the air, pretty soon we'll just get you your own. You know what? No, I'm not. You know what? Here, just call in on the flat line. Do whatever you need to do. You got 2 hours because I know how Josh is. So
I wish we could do a 2-hour show here anyway. That's a short show for us,
right? No, especially the way things are now. And I know you got school coming up. Well, we had mentioned earlier that I guess it was on Wednesday when you were on with us, how cool it would be if we had like a podcast of kids your age, children your age, not kids, you're not baby goats, children your age, you're not even really a child, you're a young man, young men, young women your age.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
On a podcast.
That would be an amazing.
It would be phenomenal.
It would be awesome.
I know a channel that would even let you guys hang out and broadcast if you wanted to. So you got to wait for that whole building channel thing.
Right, or we'd even take your old stuff and re-upload it to our channel. I've got some old equipment, things here I've upgraded. And you go back to school when? Back to like class learning in school with masks and plastic partitions and all kinds of gross.
That's on January 15th, but I still have Zooms. I think it's on Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm off for winter break.
And then you go back after winter break. And are they telling you need to bring your own plastic partitions? Or they're going to supply you some for your desks? What the hell?
I don't know. I think that they're just going to supply us some. Like, I wouldn't think that they would make us buy our own.
Yeah, you wouldn't, but...
I mean, the teachers have been making us buy $20 books for our lessons and stuff, so doesn't seem too absurd.
Wow, I hadn't even thought about the fact that government supplied school supplies are not even a thing right now for you guys. Your tax dollars at work. That's why we need schools, government. Who's going to make schools and roads? All right, I'll shut up.
All right. Who's going to brainwash the children? Who's going to pave the roads? Who's going to fill their shoes? I'll tell you what. You get your grades up, I think we can probably come up with something as far as a show goes.
If you need math help, I know a guy.
Well, we can get you like...
Nah, it ain't math.
Looking at you, Adam.
We can make you a nifty little logo and get you some cool little intro animations and stuff going if you want to do it. We can get you all set up and stuff you need to go to hit the ground running.
Yeah, one of my friends built a computer and is like making a YouTube channel. Doing really good, actually. Has an intro and outro.
That's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
Is it? You want to promote it? We can go check it out.
It's mostly like gaming and stuff. It's my friend Nick. He lives down in, where is it? Somewhere in the Boot Heel. He just moved a little bit ago, so we can't hang out anymore. His channel name is Crypto115. He's a pretty cool kid.
Huh.
Ain't quite into this flat Earth stuff, but I still hang out with him.
Well, if you can find somebody that respects you enough to be able to have a adult conversation, a civil conversation about things that they don't necessarily agree with, that can make just as good a show as, if not better, than a bunch of dumbasses all saying the same things, agreeing with each other.
And you
Looks
might
like
be
he does some
surprised.
cooking on there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little
Cooking
bit.
a cheese bowl with Crypto115.
I remember that video. Oh, God. The microwave gets all steamy.
Drop the link in chat, Zach.
I am on it.
So I know things might be slightly improved because you will have people you know within the same building, but you're still going to have, the partitions and the 6 feet distances and the plastic partitions, and you're still probably going to have a lot of changes and a lot of new things, and it's probably still not going to be as easy as it was before all this crap went down. I think the ease with which you were getting grades last year may not quite be that easy this year, even back to school.
I think it might be a little bit easier whenever I go back to school, but maybe not.
Well, you get your grades up, and we will get you a show.
It would be amazing.
I mean, it's a little more than a email address on YouTube. You can sign up for a YouTube account, but I mean, again, we can get you. I've got microphones. We can get you stuff set up. And
I already got a YouTube account. I just don't really use it.
Perfect. See, you can rebrand it and come back out strong.
It'd be amazing.
maybe this time next
That's
year.
all it takes, man. I started my little craziness over there on my Flat Earth Head channel before I met these guys. I was doing just literally, I had a crap like tab, whatever, Samsung tablet, the worst possible camera. I had to like buy like weird filters to be able to video the sun out on the beach, just trying to do my own experiments, observations, whatever. And I mean, it accomplished what I was trying to accomplish. It showed the sun definitely wasn't setting like they told us. And my son and I sat there on the beach watching the sun just kind of fade into the distance, never going below the horizon with binoculars. And so you'd be shocked at what you can do with very little physical equipment or, fancy computers or anything. Just a phone in your hand, you can do miracles just about as far as capturing your thoughts on what's going on around you. So, but we can definitely pump it up, help you with our little bit. You see how smooth and polished we are. I missed Wednesday. I'm an hour late today. I mean, we got this thing, right?
Yeah.
And internet won't necessarily even be an issue. There's free video editing programs and free audio editing programs.
Yeah, I've just been having trouble looking for them sometimes. Like, my friend's been giving me some certain things, but I don't know. I still haven't found any yet.
Yeah, it can be wonky sometimes. That's for sure. It was a whole lot of searching several years ago when I thought I'd be able to do a whole lot for free. And you can do a whole lot for free if you've got the knowledge, which I do not, or the experience, which I do not.
Right, and it's out there. It really is. I mean, YouTube is a great go-to source for getting a bare bones operation going. Showing you the free software that really do what you want them to, and not just are ads to make you buy the monetized version of thing. I had a decent one that I was working with. We'll talk about names and all that off the show. There's no point in giving free advertising to folks that aren't giving us free stuff. But definitely, there's ways. You just gotta
see
learn your
what's
way
out
through
there.
it all.
Yep. But I do have an extra computer over here with an extra monitor, with an extra microphone. I've got things we can do, so I can make sure it's ready for you by the time you get your maybe first quarter report card. We'll see how you're doing after the first quarter, and if you got your grades up looking halfway decent, we'll get you set up.
That sounded perfect. Hal, our buddy Kelly in chat she said, I say we all just adopt and homeschool Donnie. So you're now our part of the team, friend. Kelly's a good friend. She's been with us a while.
I don't think his mom would go for that too well.
Well, joint custody, right? We wouldn't just.
Donnie's got a real good relationship with his mom, and I think that's awesome.
I figured as much. The fact that Donnie's even sitting here with us speaks like loads to her parenting, and the fact that she would allow her innocent son to come, hang out with a bunch of lunatics like us. No, it's true, man. I had a mother who was luckily able to let me have a little more free reign than some of the kids around me, and explore some places and thought processes that most other people around me just weren't exposed to, let alone had the free reign to go check out what might be different in the world. So your mom rocks for sure. Tell her thumbs up from Walt if she gives a shit.
Shout out to Amber. Big thumbs up. There it is. There's his thumbs up for his mom.
Awesome.
And hopefully she's having a nice quiet night to herself, having a grown-up night with no kids.
Which
or
rarely
children,
ever happens.
Which rarely ever happens, which is one of the great things about being able to bring Donnie over here to hang out with us, because it gives her some time to hang out with her man and enjoy some adult time. But I got to say, they've shared stories with me about Donnie, and Donnie's got some balls on him for only 13. It's no wonder his voice is so deep. His shit's had to drop. He's had to deal with shit. He's had to do shit. He's got more balls than a lot of grown ass men that I know. Not to get into anything too much here, but I think the fact that he's able to stand up to the people that claim to be the authority in education and question the things that they say. It really is indicative of, I think, sort of where Donnie is, even at 13, and his ability to stand up for himself and to stand up for things when they're wrong, to stand up for right, for truth, justice, and the American way, and all that jazz. It's really not easy. Some people talk a big talk, but can't actually go through the actions. And I think you are at 13 practicing and learning and going through the actions, and I think that is absolutely awesome. Liz the Iron made another super chat, says a sparkling diamond she sent us. That's what you are.
Indeed. I love that. Thank you, Liz. That was awesome.
And just a reminder, we do have the flatline open, that if anybody wants to call in and say hello to Donnie. Walter, you want to give everybody the flatline number? I know how much you enjoy it.
304-503-FLAT. That's 304-503-3528. You call now.
Or don't. We can sit here and chit chat too. That's cool too.
You call now.
You call now. You make me smile.
You call now. We here for hour.
Entertain me.
I don't know why I was thinking that exact same thing, Walt.
We all were.
So what movies, Donnie? Do you ever get in any of the older movies? Did your mom watch any of the old 80s or early 90s movies with you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite, like a favorite classic? Well, let me break it down. I'll give you a genre, I guess, because that's a hard question.
It is.
I mean, right
Kinda.
there. How about like your favorite, like spy comedy?
Now that's a specific genre.
Let's say that's a
Yeah.
like,
I'm trying to think of the spy comedy.
So,
I'm coming up with Mr. Bean. No, I said Johnny English.
Johnny English.
oh yeah, I remember those.
I think my favorite was Spies Like Us.
See, that's the one I was first jumping to. What's your favorite spy comedy starred with former Saturday Night Live comedians taking place during the Cold War?
Or your favorite sports? I don't even know. Just favorite movie. Just favorite movie. Well, I there were some old
being
sports
silly. I'm
movies
being
I
silly.
like. There was a couple. Rudy. I still get chills when I watch Under Rudy, even though I hated Notre Dame growing up. And hate is a strong word, but my mom, you weren't allowed to be a Notre Dame fan in my house growing up. Northern Indiana, everybody was, but they always got all the breaks. And my mom rooted against Notre Dame, Duke in basketball, all the teams that always won and got all the breaks. My mom always rooted against those people.
Yeah,
So yeah, I was
them.
not allowed to be a Notre Dame fan.
Have you ever seen They Live by chance, Donnie?
What's that again?
They Live.
I don't think I have.
Highly recommend it. Highly
Good
That's-
idea,
that-
yeah.
That's a great recommendation for him to watch. It's a really
I will 100% check that out.
I
Kind of
have come here
Rowdy
to
Roddy
chew
Piper,
bubblegum
I think.
and
Is
kick
that the guy?
ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean it's 80s. It's a little corny.
Oh yeah, there's definitely
nowadays.
an 80s vibe to it, without a
Yeah.
doubt. There's a little
But the
stilted
story,
acting here and there,
yeah.
but yeah, it's a great story and really, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Set
really
your
been
mind to
watching
thinking.
a lot of movies lately. Just mainly been listening to music.
What kind of bands you like?
The old ones I like: Queen, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, The Rolling Stones.
What? Oh well, do you know that Stephen Carpenter is a flat earther?
Huh.
The guitarist, yep, from Deftones, just came out like what, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, on some podcast talking about anti-vax stuff, saying that the Earth is definitely not a spinny ball in space. What was the other thing? 9/11? No, it was something else.
I love that phrase now, Walt. He just came out.
He just came out, right? He's out of the closet. He's off the ball. He's out of the closet.
Why did he come on here?
I know.
Working on it. Working on it. Truly, I have been. Working on him and working on Chris DeGarmo because he's got some new stuff out. And he's another guitar player that I had some connections with back in the 90s. So we'll see what happens there.
I'm scrolling to see if I can't maybe find it.
It may have been further back than I remember. So, but yeah, we were all pumped up.
Have you ever listened to Rage Against the Machine?
No, I have not.
Oh, my friend.
Yeah.
Get their first album and buckle up. Just buckle up.
And read the lyrics along while he's singing. Because it's hard to understand.
I'm a fan of the lyrics, actually. I don't really watch lyric videos that much. It's mainly a sound thing for me.
That's what's up. I'm all about music.
The guitarist is...
And the words can always...
Yeah, the guitarist for this band, Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello. Oh, man, he's
listing
like the
classic music
of our times.
Right. Listing some of those classic bands you listed. When you hear Tom's riffs for the first time, you keep going, wait, I've heard this riff on somebody else's album, haven't I? He's such a seasoned guitarist that has been exposed to so much of the same things you have and is able to condense it into his playing to where like I said, the first literal listen to the album, I kept thinking, okay, I've heard this before somewhere. What is this riff? It's just from that band I know or whatever. They're just great, dude. Yeah, Rage, they were amazing. They were a voice for our generation. In our day, our Rage. No, I'm just kidding. They were awesome, man. I got to see them in concert a couple of times, met the guitar player. Yeah, they're really great.
Yeah, he learned how to, all those mistake noises guitarists make when they're learning? Well, he learned how to make music out of all those noises. Like, any way you can mess up a noise on a guitar, he learned how to turn that into music.
Well, he wanted to be their DJ without having a DJ. That was essentially what he tried to do.
Yeah.
Like
when people
in
are
the 90s, there was a lot of like DJs with metal bands, and he wanted to just be that. And he had all the scratching and noises, and yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Amazing.
Stephen Carpenter.
And then he was also an incredibly, he knew scales and theory, and it wasn't all just noise.
Stephen Carpenter also opined that you are not capable of catching a virus from somebody.
That was it. Virology.
Yep. He was on Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. I did happen to find it, by the way, on nme.com.
NME.com.
Back from the 13th of November.
So my sincere apologies to Hal, to our buddy Kelly at chat, because she suggested way back that I tell Donnie about Stephen Carpenter. So, and I was like, I doubt he'll know that old music. We're old people, but Donnie knows good music. I should have known. We'll
drop that link in the chat.
All right, so now I'm going to take it next level. There's a band out there from like the early 2000s called Porcupine Tree.
All right.
Any clue? You ever heard of a guy named Steven Wilson by chance?
Kind
if you
of
like music for music's sake, go dig deeply. I will send you a link to the album called In Absentia. When you hear this album, it'll speak to you just like that Morello will, where you'll go, wow, this feels so familiar. It speaks to so much classic music that we all love and grew up with, but they take it to the next newer phase. It's almost like, I mean, I can't even, there's so many different styles that are expressed in the music. There's heavy tunes, there's ballad-esque tunes, there's instrumental songs, which is rare these days in a band that has vocals. Dude, there you will be blown away. Yeah. There's Queen influence, there's Pink Floyd influence, there's Tool influence, you pick it. They are so Yeah, I mean, and the guy, Steven Wilson, he's really the secret to all of it, because he's one of those guys, apparently, he wakes up in the morning and music just falls out of his head. He's got like 9 projects, different genres. I mean, he's a true musical genius. I'm gonna send you the link right here in this chat so Josh can give it to you when we I would love to hear some, but we fight enough copyright strikes here, so give me a minute.
Shout out to Hal Fuckery getting ready to take off. Says Donnie's going to set you up with an hour with Beth Martins. That's going to be awesome. Beth is an amazing, amazing woman. She's
oh, that's amazing, Kelly. I didn't even think that far. That's great. Beth was just here, so I said bye to her just as I got here, running late. So she was headed out. But yeah, Beth is a powerhouse, a wonderful.
Oh, look at that. We got some phone call.
There you go. Oh, shush.
Thanks for calling the Ironworks. Who are we speaking with? This is not the Ironworks. This is Have No Sphere. I'm not used to taking calls.
Wow, look at this dude.
Jesus, I just go right into automatic mode, don't I? Thanks for calling Have No Sphere. This is Josh. Who are we speaking with?
Live now, am I?
You are live right this very moment. Yes, sir.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No. How are we doing?
No. Great. What do you mean I'm live? I don't hear myself coming back at me.
Oh, you should, if you're watching the YouTube, there's a bit of a delay. So if you hang on just a minute, you should be hearing yourself any minute now.
And then when you do start hearing yourself and try to talk at the same time, it'll get really confusing.
Oh, well, I'm turning my volume down so I can hear what's going on the phone here then.
Gotcha.
Is that all good?
Perfect. Coming in loud and clear.
Okay. Oh, Flat Earth? What's that? Not me. I'm Flat Earth Preacher, by the way.
Oh, Flat Earth Preacher. Thanks so much for calling in. That's awesome.
Yeah. I did
hey, man, thank you. Saw you in chat. Glad you're calling. What's up?
Oh, man, I did some great activism the other day. I hit, there's 6 high schools in my town, and I've come out with some flyers, promoting Flat Earth, and the final flyer, the third one, I offered a $2,500, what could you say, a $2,500 package for first 10 places, 800 for first, 700 for second, 500 for third, and it breaks it down to $100 up to 10 prizes. And I wanted Flat Earth thesis. So I approached the schools, and yeah, I was doing it off the school ground, and then I got talking to a teacher from another school, and she says, I love what you're doing. I love your ideas and whatnot. So it prompted me to actually enter the schoolyard, right, to talk to the principals type idea, see if I can actually roll with this for, that would actually help their English class to get a thesis going, and somebody's going to win some money. You follow me?
Heck yeah.
So I'm throwing that out there, the idea that, people will get into looking at the flat earth and understanding the way we see things and how the ball just doesn't make any sense. So I went to one school, and I'm handing out flyers on my way to the door, and it's lunchtime, which is a great time to hand out flyers to the students as they're coming out. And I had a package, and I said, can somebody deliver this to the principal? And I'm still handing out flyers. This principal and the vice principal comes out, and he looks like a Nazi to begin with, right? Wearing the face diaper, so is the vice principal wearing the face diaper, and you get out of here, you leave right now. And I said, hey, can't you just give me a moment of your time so I can talk to you about this? No, you keep your flyers to yourself. Don't come in here, I'll call the cops on you. I said, but if you could just give me 5 seconds. Okay, he says. So I talked to him, and I said, hey, the idea of understanding the truth that's going on and get away from the lies will help a lot of people for just the well-being, because it's such a relief to know the truth and not the lies. Oh, you get out of here. You just get out of here. You're talking nonsense. I'm like, oh, slow down, buddy. I can see why some students want to take a poke at their principal now. I got out of there, and when I was going to my truck, They write my license plate number down. I get home, and the RCMP call me up. Were you at a school handing out flyers? Yes, I was, sir. You don't do that. Off the school ground. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I can do that then. I said, how'd you get my number? He says, lucky guess. I said, can you give me some 649 numbers? I'm just not winning right now.
You had the nerve to say lucky guess.
Yeah. So anyways, you know, I just like, okay, you can't be rude to these people, right? You got to play their game. You got to be nice. You don't want to make any flack with anyone. But before I come home, I hit another school, but I was there, and one of the students went running into the school, got the principal, and he came out. And he was talking to me, and I was in my truck off the school grounds, and he came over, and we had a chat. Very, very nice man. Very nice guy. I've got some memory sticks with a lot of data on it, and I handed him one. I said, check it out. And it's got all the fake news and a bunch of flat earth stuff and no curve to be seen, this, that, fake satellites, what else? Jet engine hoax in there. And I handed it to him. There's 152 videos in it.
Wow.
I don't think he'll ever be the same again.
He's probably still watching them right now.
Oh, when you're talking to the dean and you hand him something like that, has a belief of the round ball, and you hand him the facts, and he's got it in his hand, he will be communicating with the rest of the deans out there. So I'm kind of wondering how the next couple of weeks are going to unfold.
Yeah, no kidding. You may end up with another call from the RCMP.
Oh, well, they said as long as it's not on the school grounds, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, did they know that was flat earth related?
I actually had the RCMP at my place just recently. My dog got into a fight with my neighbor's dog, and they come out to investigate the situation, and I gave him flat earth for 2 hours.
Nice.
He will, and we weren't talking about the dogs. He was like, oh my God. But he left out of here having a whole new outlook on flat earth, I'll say that.
Boy, I bet he did.
Well, I just told him, be ready. Be careful about what you've learned today, because they're going to put the straitjacket on you when you get back to the detachment.
Yes, they will.
But you can only hit one at a time, though, sometimes, you know. I'd rather have a crowd, but it's a tough go. It's a tough go doing this thing. I just would like to see more people doing this.
It can feel thankless at times, but once you make that one person and you see that light click on and you see them get it and they're all on board, then it makes all that other shit worth it.
Yeah,
Well,
we got a nice little note this week, actually, that really brightened our world, man. I mean, you know, we've been at this a long, long time, and we've met amazing people. We've had, like, just a huge family that we've come to have and grow with and know and love. We've met, like, people like our buddy Nuka, who was on our show this morning on Ironworks, who literally just popped into one of my video comments on one of my videos and reached out, and he's become a friend to us all, to the show, but he's a friend to me, to us. And it's amazing when you do these things, the gifts you get back. It's not always about like a big channel with money or about huge, you know, like 1,000 people watching you do your thing on a corner somewhere. That one-on-one, that one person that it matters to is really where it all shines for me and for us. It's really, and when we find out that it's really reached somebody's heart, that's really...
It does. It is a situation where you become spiritually uplifted knowing the truth. I totally understand that, but wow, what a battle finding that one
dude,
person.
it's so fucking right. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's good when you finally get those little, like, nuggets of like, oh, this reached somebody. It really makes it go. Sometimes it feels like you're just punching brick walls, you know, like with your head.
Oh, I will say, there is so many brick walls out there. I just had somebody here at my place tonight there. He says, hey, did you hear about the rocket they're sending up to Mars or some damn thing? And I go, oh, no. Oh, no, don't do this to me. It's all fake.
Don't just lob it over the plate for me like that. You know, make it a fast.
I can't handle that when somebody says, "Did you hear about that rocket? They're going to send something up there and go test the environment." Well, I said, "No, buddy, you don't get it. Don't do this to me. It's all fake." No, it's not. I'm going, oh my God. No conversation with that one.
Yeah, when they still believe in that stuff, they're not ready.
Oh, they can't get over the idea. They actually, that one fellow actually believes they went to the moon. So there is no chat about flat Earth with that type of person.
No, they have some growing to do inside.
It's the biggest hurdle for sure. Hell, it was the biggest hurdle for me. I was a NASA fanboy through and through. It was tough.
How old are you?
But I saw the Challenger, right? I watched it land, not just blow up. I saw it land. I heard the engine. Wait, engine? No, what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but how long ago did you become a flat earther?
Oh, I don't know. What was it? 2015, I guess. Like the rest of us.
Oh, so you're still an early.
The algorithm pushed it through to me whenever I got my dose.
Yeah, you're still early at it, though. That's all good. No, I've been a flatter for about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what got me to being a flat earther was checking the fake news for a long period of time. Why are they faking so much stuff? Well, what is the purpose of all this fake news? And then somehow it just started to brighten up when the people that I've been chatting with on their channels, like, you know, just conversing, making notes, is we are actually flat. They can't prove curvature and they can't prove rotation. We have to be flat. I'm just listening to myself on the TV. It doesn't sound too bad.
Told you it would
It's coming through good.
Oh, but it's not echoing back, though. That's a good thing.
Very good.
So I want to read this real quick. We got this from JP. JP is a patron of ours over on Patreon, and runs something called Reperception. Reperception. I kind of like that. And he started this thing called the Reperception Media Pick of the Week. And this week is Iron Rail Media. It says JP will be posting some of the best non-characterized websites in a series called Reperception's Media Pick of the Week. It says this week is an easy one. Iron Rail Media, which may require one more name change for the next several hundred years as we are leaving the Iron Age for a more enlightened metal. Or so I'm told. Look, the team of regulars on Iron Realm appeal to my pace of thinking and speaking, and a most important feature is that they truly listen. The way they move from their personal stories and apply them to some of the most perplexing, if not occulted, of our time. If tone and tenor was the standard by which to measure a show, this ranks up there with anything I've come across. From music to camera work, or looking up the firmament to shamanic principles to daily gardening, Iron Realm Media has one of the best core groups gaining momentum. And if I'm going to dedicate some time on the computer, it's great that I usually walk away saying, dang, these guys are my buds. JP, we are your buds. We truly, truly appreciate that. That makes me glow. That is awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's the second
awesome.
time I've heard it, and it's
Amazing.
really moved me.
Yeah, I got chills again.
Yep, I did again, man. It's amazing. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We love you. We are all
That's
love you guys. Thank you.
that's
And you guys, love you. The team here, Donnie.
You know, a pat on the back goes a long ways.
It surely does.
What were you saying, Mr. Meekin?
I was saying that's lovely. That is. I was in, and what you just said, a pat on the back, it goes a long way. I was in Discord tonight, and I quickly tried to check Discord there to see if because the person's name moods me now. It's gone past 1 o'clock. But we were chatting
one
there,
thing before I
and he
forget.
just kind of said to me, you know, oh, you're the guy from Iron Realm, aren't you? I've been a flat earther since like 4 or 5 years, and I've been watching you guys from the beginning, and it's just a lovely feeling that actually this might actually have helped someone. It's just a great feeling, and
It is for sure.
That's a great rep, by the way. A great write-up.
Yeah, you know, I've got, I think, about 140 videos on my channel. Anyone wants to
I
take a
dropped
look
the link
through
to
there?
your channel in chat a little bit earlier, Preacher. I put it there in our chat, guys. If you'd missed it, I'll drop it again here in a moment.
Okay, right on. Check out, I've got 140 videos for anyone to take a look at. Feel free to mirror anyone. Doesn't cost you nothing. Enjoy, spread it around.
Definitely. We will
Truth
try to
is for everyone.
get that channel up on our show description too. As
Yeah,
well.
I was going to say that as well. I just dropped it in the chat again, right under the receptions.net link that Josh just dropped. So it's all right there, so you can check them both out. And I'll put them in the description here in a few minutes as well. So
Nice. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I love your channel. At least I'm not blocked on this one. I'm blocked on Celebrate Truth.
yeah, I saw you saying that earlier. I was like, well, that's crazy. What's going on there? There's people are people, and people have personalities.
I can't decide why they
unfortunately.
blocked me. You know, if it's a flat Earth channel, you got 135,000 subs, and you can't even get over 100 people.
Well, there's a lot to be said for the YouTube algorithms as well.
Dude.
If we can get we've got over 3,000 subs, and we're looking at, I see 27 people live right now, and that's maybe half of what we usually get. We're 40 or 50 on a Friday night. Pretty typical.
We are streaming against a big channel right now. Rose is on with James True. That's powerhouse stuff.
Right, that is powerhouse stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Beth Martin, speaking of Beth is also live right now and just went live.
Oh, I didn't know that's where she took off to. Well, if Beth and Rose are on, we have no chance. Yeah, those guys. No, I'm being not facetious at all. I'm being serious. Those are amazing ladies, and watching their channel I love it. I love both of them. So, and James, that's our buddy. We messed up. Rose got him before we could get him. He wanted to come hang out with us, but we blew it.
Hey, what's up, Braden?
I see Braden Martin live in chat. Shout out Braden, one of Donnie's friends, popping in. Awesome.
What's up?
Hey,
All got to give him a shout out. Evening, Braden. Shout out, bro.
Glad to have you, Braden. Welcome.
You see me sounding down with the youth there? Did you say shout out, bro? Oh. Hear me now.
You hipster, you.
I know, I'm just like an embarrassing dad.
Oh, hanging out at the old at the field, isn't it? You pick up on all the lingo.
Running the lines up and down. He hears what's yelled out there.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep up with him, yeah. Well, with COVID, I'm enjoying I'm kind of glad. This is another bonus of COVID for me.
Not
I
having
haven't
to
got to
run
get up on
lines.
a cold morning and run up and down a field after this show.
Well, we've got people from all over Earth here tonight with us, Braden, and I think it's pretty much unanimous how lucky you are to have a friend like Donnie. So as you're lying in bed tonight going to sleep, think, damn, it's a good thing I'm one of Donnie's friends, because there's a whole lot of people out there right now wishing they could be Donnie's friend, and you get to. So remember that.
I don't know if
Hey,
you heard, Donnie's
you
looking
remember
at
this.
the podcast, and he might need a co-host.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, tomorrow, right? Like today, Donnie, right? You weren't famous. And tomorrow, after appearing on here, you'll wake up in the morning all fresh and you won't be famous. It's going to be life-changing.
Life-changing. Just something to think about. Something to think about. How little effect this will have on your day-to-day life. But no, it is actually kind of empowering to be able to talk about this and realize
It really
that
is.
you're not the crazy one, and there's people telling you that you're the crazy one. People will tell you that you are insane and that people are misleading you. But know that you're on the right track. You can smell that truth, and if you can catch a whiff of the truth and be able to sniff it out of all the BS they try to teach you, then you're doing better than 98% of the people out there, including your teachers.
Indeed, friend. And unfortunately, there is a side to this that can kind of bite the hand, I guess, if you will. Sometimes it's difficult. I have a friend, truly haven't spoken to in 4 years because I asked a few questions about my reality. And this is a person that I had been through some seriously growth-filled times, spiritual times. He was one of the people that went and saw Rage Against the Machine with me. So for him to completely just go, no, I will not look at this, and bury his head in the sand the way he did, totally shocking to me. So it can be surprising sometimes the reaction that some of these questions can bring in people you think you know. So yeah, that side of it, unfortunately, has touched just about everybody here on the panel, everybody in chat. We've all had either a significant other, a friend, someone who is just completely couldn't deal and has basically left our life, or at least the friendship has changed, or the relationship has significantly altered, or yeah. So it's a big one. It's one that really affects people at a deep level. I think it's because when there's enough presented for them to actually go, wait a minute, it pulls the rug out so fast and so quick, they just have no chance to catch their balance, and they don't want to deal with that. So they just shut down from it, bury their head in the sand, and move on with their sports ball or screen or whatever keeps them placid. So yeah, it's a lightning rod topic, man, for damn sure.
Yep.
Oh, you heard what happened with Preacher trying to talk to the principal there, just, having a conversation. It's like, no, I won't have this conversation. So it's pretty nuts.
I mean, you got to be open.
That's part of it. That is part of it. Open with discernment. You don't want to be so open-minded your brain falls right out. You do have to have the discernment to kind of go, wait a minute now. But you already seem to have that by the bucket loads, friend. I guess I'm going to plug this other thing in. It keeps falling and bugging me. Sorry. I hate having two headphones in at the same time. I feel like I'm closed off from the world. It actually used to be something I enjoyed a bit, like headset, cans, the full stereo.
Yeah, I always leave one open.
But now I think we all have that one eye open and one ear open now. That's what's going on. They're not sneaking up on me, you bitches. Pardon my language.
I am almost done with Travis's hat. All I have to do is...
Really? The Smurf hat lives? That's what's up.
Oh my God.
All that's left is the curl at the end, like the little flap. I'm going to come up.
Oh,
give him
you're
a
almost
little...
done with the hat.
Yeah.
Shout out to Travis for sure. I can't wait to see the hat. We heard about the hat this morning on the show. Oh, speaking of the show this morning, shout out to Jonathan from Jersey who hung out with us again. And apparently he called me at like 5-ish while I was still sleeping. Damn, I can't believe I slept that late. I'm so sorry. So if you were calling me to wake me up for the show, I appreciate the attempt. And if you didn't, I'll get back with you here after the show. So yeah, so ridiculous that I can't wake up. This new sound, I think it's the alarm I have. I've noticed Tuesday morning and Friday morning, it was the second round of the alarm before I actually heard it. So I'm going to have to, it's like it's subtler than it was. It's the same exact tone I used on my other phone. It's just, it's not as brash. The sound on the speaker is more of a bassy tone. And I don't know, it's just not as a jarring noise. So I'll have to get a different one. Anyway.
I don't care what I made it this morning. If only... It's only for a very, very short time, but I did make it. And as I said, I was well chuffed because it was Zach singing Tiki Tack, and I love that. So that was the only bit out of the show I caught this morning. And they're all laying out a Tiki Tack.
I sang that song today while driving through a new community, looking at the houses. I couldn't help but.
You saw some ticket tack?
Yeah, they're building it up. We were on our way to Lyman, South Carolina, in the middle of the country, and in the middle of the beautiful country, they like plowed out this field, and they were building the ticky-tack houses, one on top of each other, in the little cul-de-sac thingies, and I burst out in song. I couldn't help it.
I love that when that happens. That's awesome. I love when song bursts out. That's just one of the best feelings there is. Whistling, humming, whatever it is. If it just comes unbid, like, yeah, I love that. Just, yeah.
Now, Zach, I'm curious, on your headset, did you get the little piece that comes off in the little ball? Did you find where I put it up on top of the table right here? Because I found it on the floor, and I set on the table a little, like this piece with the little,
I don't have one of those. It's not
A
mine.
little ear condom, is that what you're?
that's so weird. Yeah. Well, the little piece of the microphone, the boom with the little foam ball,
speaker.
you know, the little,
Speaker
yeah. Yeah, this one has a little windshield, you know, where they have the wind thing, the foam thing at it. I pulled one off the floor because the little ball was all wet. My dog was chewing on it, and it's like, oh my God, maybe it was Jaren's. I bet it was Jaren's because it disappeared off of the table. It looked like it was all in good shape, and I wanted to make sure it worked, but it's like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't right. But it was just the boom part and the little ball thing on it, and it wasn't. I think I caught the dog right away, but yeah, it wasn't one of Bob's, so I just assumed it was yours, Zach, but I guess it was Jaren's. It's not on the table anymore. It was right there next to the oranges. Okay, that was too much information for everybody.
Crazy lady. I love you.
Oh, I want to, because we're so exciting, tell you what furniture shopping is like in South Carolina, because I was really surprised. I went out on a mission we broke some furniture, and we've been doing other things, and so like we've had our mattresses on the floor because the under thing broke on it and the platform. And so I finally went out to go get pieces and that, and a couple of couches, and again, things that didn't survive, and go into a couple different furniture stores that have full things, and you get to the salespeople, and they're like, well, no, we won't sell what's on the floor, and nothing is available. And so if you place the order, we think delivery time is like 5 months out, but we can't guarantee anything. And that this has been their busiest. They're like, we're over double busy selling nothing than we were last year. And they were literally selling nothing. They were saying, here, give us your money, and in 5 months or 6 months or a year or 2 years when the trucks come, you can have your furniture. And they said that they're taking, like, on that type of thing, doing over double the business they were last year, that all of the used furniture was top dollar, all of the things, and that everything was ordered. And I went to more than one store like this, and then we made some phone calls, and somebody directed us to this, I guess it's maybe the biggest distributor out here or whatever, but in the middle of the country in Lyman, South Carolina, something called Furniture Warehouse Showroom. And it had like 3 different showrooms that were like little buildings that were connected by hallways, done darling, beautiful, beautiful place, clean, elegant, tons and tons of furniture. The first thing I saw was a giant sign on their door with a big smiley face saying that, like, masks not required but accepted, and they had a picture of somebody smiling without the mask, and they're like, or a mask small.
I just bought a couch there. I'm not even looking at one yet. That's awesome.
So they have this big sign, you know, that says that the salespeople are warm, they're not wearing masks.
Uh-oh, did we lose her?
Uh-oh, Cammy, you may have walked too far.
You're in the kitchen, Cam.
You may have walked too far, a bridge too far, Cammy. We can't hear you. She's still getting a snack.
Yeah, I don't know what she's.
No, Cammy, hey, no. Hey,
No, Cammy.
she's still talking.
She's still going. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
You've been cut off for like 20 seconds.
Like at least 20 seconds. Last thing we
Your
heard,
headset,
the
lights are off.
salesperson, when she started talking about the salesperson, that's the last thing we heard.
Yeah, the lights went off on her headset. Oh, she's back. see.
Can you hear me now?
There
We
you
can
are.
hear you now.
Oh, I am so sorry. And I
That's
was just
okay.
going on and on and on.
Okay.
But I was saying that I don't know where I lost you on
The salesperson, and that's basically the last thing. You told us
Yes.
there were no
Yeah.
masks,
No
signage.
masks.
Salesperson.
Salespeople, no masks, warm, making any kind of deal. Everything was available for delivery. They said that they are still getting like 5 trucks in, and they don't, in other words, they don't put it out on the showroom unless they have it to sell. And I don't know, after calling all of these other stores and consignment, it was like going into a whole different country of its own. This magical furniture store set up like all entirely for me, just to manifest out of nowhere and have, again, prices that were unbelievable compared to every place else. It was like, wow, this place is magical. So it was really a neat experience. You can find them, but you have to go through the other ones to find the places that exist. And it seems like the other places wanted you to wear a mask and wanted and everybody's uptight and upset. And the place that we bought at, everything was flowing. They were busy. They were happy. They were serving drinks and apple cider and things like that. And again, it was just a warm, happy place to be. So you can find those oases.
Well, that's awesome.
And I was worried it wasn't going to happen, because after place of no, we have nothing, and no, we won't. It's like, won't you? This couch will work. I'll take it used off the showroom. I won't even ask a discount. Oh no, you don't understand. We sell 6 or 7 couches off of it a week that we don't know when we're going to get, or if we're going to get.
I just want to thank Flat Earth Preacher for calling in. We really appreciate anybody calling in. That being said, the phone line is back open. Anybody wants to call in and
keep up the good fight out there, man.
Definitely.
And yeah, thank you for the phone call. I went into Girl Estrogen shopping on my mind stuff. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's all right. We had to order a couple extra pieces of furniture. Turns out with Dixie's ankles being bad, we needed to get the ottoman for the couch and stuff. So we ordered it, but it's still about 6 weeks out before we can get it delivered. So it's not much different here.
And have they said they said the 6 weeks was real, or that, because our places said that we don't even know in 5 months or that if the trucks will show up?
They didn't say it wasn't real. And they gave us all the other furniture that we had delivered here when we moved in. So they do pretty well. They do a pretty good volume of business. So I'm confident it will be here when they said it will. We'll see.
Did you ask them if they were busier or affected by the virus in any way, or or did you not go there?
I did not go there. They had 2 guys come.
What guys, Cammy?
Okay. Well, all of the stores, and I even called around to other ones that said, no, they're going to be the same way and different things. They all said, and even like the used ones, and that saying, yeah, if you have anything used to sell, we'll be giving top dollar. That they are in this area having their busiest year on record, like double busy as far as business in any year that they've seen prior. And everybody was fixing up their houses. I guess stuck inside, everybody was very interested in fixing up their houses. So I just saw another glimpse into things. So interesting.
That is interesting. Speaking of people staying busy due to COVID, everybody's buying up computer parts because they're all building their own computers. But Walter managed to get a processor when everybody else was back ordered by thousands. He managed to sneak one in somehow.
I don't know how, truly miracle. I've gone back since to check the site, and they are all sold out again. So truly, me checking while we were talking was timing, pure timing.
Quick shout out to Dixie in chat. I think this is the first time I've seen her name pop up in our chat in 5 years. So anybody wants to say hello to my wife, there she is there in chat.
Hey,
wow, I'm in their chat. What's up, Dixie?
Good evening, Dixie.
Oh God, I have a microphone, and I can just say, hi, Dixie, I love you, because I'm making all these happy emojis, because I'm so happy to see Dixie. Big hug, Dixie.
Yep.
Actually, kind of miss you, and I know we just had that short time, but I really love you, Dixie, and I hope everything's going good for you.
Quick question.
Dance on the ottoman.
Oh, wait, all these bloody years, And the second that Cammy gets onto soft furnishings, then Dixie turns up.
Soft furnishings. That's what it is. Discount furniture. Let me hop in.
Oh, Dixie, the prices were so good. They were so good. My husband's like pointing to a couch and then pointing to the other couch and saying he can put it out in my sunroom. And I'm looking at the price on the couch. And it's like, we don't need the second couch, honey. My sunroom's fine. I don't need. He's like, you don't understand. That price is for both of them. And it was like, no way. This is like less than the price. I'm going to send Dixie. Dixie, you're going to have to look at, like, I might fill Iron Realm Media pre-show full of what I got. Because it's fun.
I will be sure to pass
Who
it
are we
along.
sponsored by again?
Right.
It was
Iron Rail,
Furniture
sponsored by
Warehouse
Furniture
Showroom.
Warehouse Showroom.
It was
Your
called
dollar
Furniture. Yeah.
goes further.
It did. It was Furniture Warehouse Showroom, and it was in Lyman, South Carolina. And I was in love with this store. I was in love, and I'm not easy because, like, what I was pointing out to my husband and Zach, the furniture that we had in our bedroom in Colorado was beautiful. But and we have one piece left, a armoire. And I looked at them, and it's like, we're going to probably have to move it out to either the garage or storage. And the odd part about this is that we spent more on that armoire when we got it than we did not only on all of the bedroom set, like all of the dressers, the bed frame mirror, 2 nightstands, a huge chest, a bachelor's chest, and the 2 couches. It's like, if you put all of the things together, we've spent more on that damn armoire that's gonna like go in the garage now. But that's how in love I was with this store and the prices. So yeah, that one piece that was I think it'll be a nice tool chest, Zach. I really do think, I mean, it'll be the finest tool chest ever. It's made well. It will be able to handle any kind of weight that he wants to put in it.
That's for them fancy tools.
Yeah.
So we have 10 days, folks, until the alignment.
It's true.
Not this Monday coming up, but the following Monday.
The star, they followed the star. If you watch the sky at all and are familiar with where things are supposed to be, it's pretty crazy watching them get closer together. Yeah, I've noticed it over the last week or so that, yeah, you can see the approach happening. So very interesting signs in the skies.
Hasn't happened or been this close. Now they're still not touching though.
Nope.
They're still not overlapping. Yeah, they're not going to. Not this time. The last time they've been this close, they say was 800 years, I think. Something like that.
Or so they say.
Yeah, so they say, yeah.
Shout out Martin. Martini and Rossi.
So yeah, it's like 0.1 degree, but they're still not overlapping. So I don't know if this really is all that big of a deal. But it is neat, nonetheless, to watch them get closer and, move apart.
Can't help but think the fact that we realize how actually influenced we are by these close objects that we were told were a gazillion miles away. This is going to be influential, just like the eclipses felt different.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a bit of a crock. If you've got a conjuncture doesn't occur before they conjoin. You can't have them not conjoining and call it a conjuncture. That's non.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not really a conjuncture.
Here's how I think it through. Because I know when the big alignment happened back in 80 something. Anyone remember the big planetary alignment back in 80, I think 88? No. All right. So there was one.
That was the one Dollard studied, right?
I think so.
It was the big one. It was like,
I know. There was a huge one. I don't know what year.
It was like
but yeah.
everything was lined up, and even then when I didn't know as anything, about what I know now, it just seemed crazy. The energy, the excitement about it all, what's it going to lead to, again, I've always been looking into crazy shit, so it was already something I would have been like, ooh, about when it happened. But the fact that these conjunctions, I mean, look at the Martin Kinney Nor egg theory. Tie that into all the images we have historically of that very thing being presented by all these ancient cultures. And then suddenly all that shit at least lines up close on one side of this electromagnetic firmament. Yeah, I think it will be highly influential. It doesn't have to be an eclipse. It's close to an eclipse to where those energies are both coming from to you at the same. Yeah, it'll focus differently. I don't know. And I could be completely off and it might not be anything. But we all feel the energy now. We've all been suffering through all the change of energy over the last weeks that it's been getting crazier. The pitch in everybody's ears has increased. I know at least around here it has. Everybody I've asked, is your ear ringing thing like really off the charts? Because it's always there these days, but now it's really just.
I had something that had never ever happened to me before. I was laying here in bed, my head kind of propped up on a pillow, and I was just sitting here thinking, and all of a sudden it felt just for a second like I was falling towards the ceiling. And it made the inertial jerk inside my body. Like my whole body reacted to it like it was falling. It was so just for like a split second, and then it went back. But I've never ever had that happen before. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know.
No, ironically, Walt, when that happened to him, if you look back, I don't know if you're still watching the BZ index, but it completely went off of the chart there where the chart went blank in that section where it happened to Zachary that the index on it went completely off of the scale and blanked out for a while.
I think he told us that you told him that when he was
I
explaining.
showed him and it's like,
Tuesday.
look, this whole gap is missing here. It went off of the charts. Just a weirdity. Don't know if it's connected, but it was interesting that it happened along the same timeline. It happened when most
So
people
what
should have
would
been
that,
awake.
like, I mean, in the bigger scheme of things, what would they say that would be in their scenario? I mean, shit just started vibrating for a few seconds. That don't happen. So what the fuck would that have been? Or does shit just stop vibrating for a few seconds? And that's what the reset is suddenly everything starts vibrating and cohesion is lost and everything just kind of flows apart. Maybe.
Hence mud floods. I don't know.
Good question. I don't think anybody knows at this point, or maybe somebody does know, but they're not telling us.
It's one of those things like it's just like death to me. I'm real excited to find out, but I ain't rushing and
No hurry
that it happens tomorrow. Yeah.
No hurry.
You know?
I want to know, but not that fucking bad.
Well, I figure we got about 20 minutes left of the show, so if anybody wants to get their calls in, now would be the time to do it. 304-503-3528. That spells out flat for those of you that still have those alphanumeric keypads.
True. Yeah, I cheated on our show for a second. I popped over and said hey to everybody. To James, I had to. That's what's up.
Gotta get him on.
Choo-choo.
Yep.
It's too long.
Yep. Well, he asked, look, he texted me and said, hey, I want to go hang out. And I said, yeah. And then that was when all the craziness with phones and shopping and madness. So that's more my fault than anything. But I told you guys, y'all could have called him and had him on without me. I would have cried and been sad, but it would have been all right. He'll come back.
He'll come back.
Now he's been on Rose's show. So, I mean, when you've been to a top-notch show like that, who wants to slum with us again?
Right. He's going to get spoiled.
Right. People know how to click through things. Right.
Just professionalism and quality and all this stuff.
Yeah, but we got sauce and starch.
Yeah, we do.
Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, nom, nom.
And we do get the occasional drop by from a pretty famous celebrity.
I know a couple of people that come hang out with us every now and then. There he is. I didn't even know he was here tonight, dude. I didn't see him pop in. What's up, Steve?
I hope you're having a good one, man.
Are you earringing? Is it really getting to you, or does that filter out with all the... Right. Oh, no, me too. It's bad. I know. But...
I don't know why you guys talk to him. You know he doesn't shut up once you get him going.
Yeah.
Wait. Before he goes, I just want to say Happy Christmas, Stephen. Because probably won't speak to him before. Oh, I don't know. He might pop back.
He might be back around, but in case you're right.
Definitely.
Right. Hanukkah. Well, I didn't know. So happy Hanukkah. There you go.
And then the potty mouth. All right, Stephen, that's enough.
That's
enough. Gotta go.
That's and you wonder why we think those things about you guys, man.
That's
exactly that kind of anti-Semitic shit will get us banned by YouTube. Stop it, Hawkins, right now.
We need to like clean this up and go to nicer areas and more family friendly or whatever. I actually have one of those. I have a moment I want to share with you all that I know gave me like the goosebumps and the chills up my arm, and that feeling of hope. But everybody knows Zach is here and he's been doing a lot of work in my backyard, and we have a pretty steep hill that takes you down from one level to another to get down to by where the river is. And we have a next door neighbor that she's blind, legally blind, can just see the tiniest of outlines and things like that. And she's lived here a long time, and she has not been to the river, even though it's in her backyard too. She's our next door neighbor in 10 years because there's no way for her to get from one level to the next. And Zach made stairs, and her husband, which is really special, who's taking care of his elderly mother in Arizona, came in for a visit and was able to walk her down to the river for the first time in over 10 years.
Dude, that's so
Just
awesome.
because Zach is in our realm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it felt good. It really did when I saw him walking down there. I got
shivers.
Yeah.
Special, just a lovely, lovely couple. I cried. I mean, it was like, that's so beautiful. Just everything you do touches another in ways that you don't even imagine.
Yep. That's been kind of part of Zach's journey since he left home, has been bringing that kind of thing to people. He brought it to Josh's area. He brought it to my area. He brought it out west. He took it over to Florida. He brought it up there with you guys. Now he's brought it out there to Karen Land. So, yeah, just an amazing Johnny good seed, because it's been good seeds you've been spreading, my friend, for sure. Lots of love and lots of positivity growing behind you.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm trying. Doing my part.
And you see them walk hand in hand and hold hands and walk down and be by the river, Zach. It's working. It's something else. I mean, it really is amazing.
All right, enough talking about how great I am.
And feeling blushing from here.
I know, but he is. I mean, that was seriously, seriously cool to watch. It really was.
Yep, that was worth more than any money you could offer me. That feeling right there. You know?
I bet.
That's the good stuff. That's that stuff you can't buy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if there's anything you learned from me tonight, Donnie, that the best things are free. They really are. The feelings and the memories that you take with you and this and that, you don't need a lot of money to make them. They're right out your back door.
Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I was impressed you even agreed to come down here and do this with us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
indeed.
Again, it takes guts. It's a strange feeling having to talk on the internets like this when you're not used to it. So I applaud you. That's impressive. And again, you get those grades up, we'll get you your own show. We'll get you your computer and your mic. We'll get you all set up and do whatever the hell you want to do with it.
I was going to add to that. There's not many things I do intros for, but if you get those grades up, dude, I'll do your proper Iron Realm introduction.
Yeah, Adam's the man.
Adam's got quite a way with
Yeah, he does.
computer thingies. Yep. There's
The
quite
logo.
some amazing intros floating around out there with Adam's touch. I know. So definitely, dude. Yeah. And here we are telling you get your grades up. So I guess we have adopted you. Tell mom we'll all share custody. And
There's a thing I'm saying to my boys, Donnie, and I alluded to it earlier. Everybody's not back. Okay, everybody's had this kick in the whole world. Yeah. So as with a lot of things in life, you can look at it like that they've took that away from you, or actually you can say I can knuckle down and I can get myself ahead of everybody else there that ain't going to try as hard as I can. And there are opportunities there, and I know I'm annoying my boys with extra bits of revision and stuff, but in the long run, you've got to pay time. And from old men, get your head down, lad, and be different. You already are different, yeah? So a little bit more effort, and that difference will pay benefits for you, son. And I think if you're here tonight, there's people, not just on the panel, I've seen it in the chat, that are really rooting for you. So good luck, and I shall follow you with interest, mate.
Thank you.
And it should be easy since you're going to be coming out of the virtual learning and being able to do it in the class and back to what you're a little bit more used to. So hopefully it won't be that big of a deal.
This semester, I mean, it's over. Yeah. It's like, there's not much I can really do.
No, except maybe see where everything went wrong this semester, what they could have done better to make it better for you, and how you might have been able to improve that. Because while you might be going back to school after the winter break, there's no guarantee how long you'll be there. And you might just find yourself right back at home doing your virtual learning again.
Yeah.
And we don't want to fall back into the grades you've got now because you're back into virtual learning. So as much as it's going to take to get the grades up when you get back into school, you also might want to think about how you can improve the situation now and in the future in case we need to get back to it. Because I don't think having those kind of grades are going to fly even with the excuse of virtual learning. Only goes so far, especially after you do it for a couple years, like looks like they're planning.
well, I watched my nephew there. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Donnie.
Oh, no. I just was saying, yeah.
Well, I watched my nephew that first part of the year when the virtual learning began, and when I was there in Oregon. And this is a child who has been truly in front of a screen since he was an infant. And I mean, okay, so his whole life is distraction on a screen. Now you got to make that into a learning device. And that's just basically not, that's just asking for something that's not going to happen in a week or a month or 3 months. That's just a lifetime of what this device is for and what they want me to do with it are two different worlds. And that's with my sister, his mom, right there, literally in the room going, okay, turn that other crap. I see you over there watching whatever you shouldn't be and get on your studies. Okay, now let me see that it's done. And unless she knows every click through and every whatever, she doesn't know what he's showing her is right or wrong or the right lesson from, you know. So, yeah, it's a lot of that. Just being in a completely different situation that is just not reality. You know, homeschooling is when a parent has decided to become the teacher and is there in that role. Having a kid over there in the corner on the computer doing stuff they're supposed to be doing is just not realistic at all. So I'm not giving you an excuse for the bad grades. I'm just saying I understand the bad grades.
Especially it's hard because you have all this information that you're questioning and you're not believing, and you hear the nonsense. You know, why do I have to learn this? I don't believe it. It doesn't make sense. It's not gonna. This is stupid. Why do I have to learn it? But it's always good to learn both sides of it. And again, it's a great practice for being able to spot those lies and the deceptions and the way they word things. So while it's hard, and again, I wish somebody might have even clued me into this when I was younger, as worthless as the information that you're being taught seems, the very act of learning it anyway is empowering. Being able to see that you don't agree with it, but I'm going to learn this because this is what everybody else thinks. And this is going to be a really good way to interact with other people because this is the foundation they're coming from. So even though you don't buy it, you're still going to need to learn it and understand it at the very least, why they think the way they do. And it's going to better be able to interpret and what's the word I'm trying to look for? It'll translate better from what they think into what you think, and you'll be able to communicate your ideas better when you can frame it in their reference frame of the nonsense that they learned, because you at least took the time to learn their bullshit model when you had the chance. And it makes getting older much easier too, and you don't have to spend 18 months going back to relearn the things you should have learned in 7th grade, like I had to.
I am looking at a meme posted. I'm in a high school friends group, which again, when you go back to his age and that, those were the glory years and you hold connections. And so like we have the groups. So this is 40 years ago. And this is kind of what I think a lot of people recognize this. Jenny gave me her number. So I called 8675309, but I got Jesse's girl, Eileen. I'm thinking bizarre love triangle. So I asked her for a date and she said, beat it. So I said, come on, Eileen, don't you want me? Those West End girls. I mean, this is how we remember the frolicking and that's how we remember our high school. I know, I hit a lot of nerves, didn't I?
Yes.
This is how you're supposed to remember high school. And Donnie, maybe you do listen to enough old music that you understood what I just said, but all the older people in the chat room and that got it. Where's that? They also, in our little things, had the one also that cracked me up today with a big bottle of mercurochrome that says you could literally have severed an arm in the 70s and your mom would have just slapped some of this shit on your bloody nub and sent you back outside.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
We
it's like,
joke with my mom constantly because she would take the cat to the vet, but we got a Band-Aid or maybe tape if there wasn't a Band-Aid around.
Yeah. And mercurochrome.
And monkey blood. That's what it was when we were kids, right?
So that red stain stuff that stung so bad.
Big shout out to Tommy, that flat fellow in chat. Thanks for the super chat, brother. And also let's keep all our prayers and thoughts with Dr. La and his brother. He's in the ICU now for 3 days. So just let's send La some love.
No doubt. Lots of prayers, lots of love headed that way.
Yeah, such a great guy. I've met him multiple times now. Gives great hugs. You'd love him. Well, you all would love him. I know it. But yeah, just a good-hearted man. And he's one of the truth sharers. He's out there for the right reasons. So yeah, let's send him some good positive vibes, everybody.
Absolutely. And thank you all for hanging out there with us in chat. We appreciate it. I know there's a lot of good live stuff happening right now, so we appreciate you guys popping in, popping out, hanging out with us. Donnie has been a definite light, much needed during this time of darkness that we've been dealing with, especially heading into these crazy holidays. Because unfortunately, the energy does get pretty hectic sometimes right now, or at least, it has for me. Maybe I've let that happen, but it has been pretty crazy.
And don't worry, Donnie, there's people your age, they may not be there yet, but they're coming. Don't worry. They're going to start seeing the things you're seeing, and you're going to get more, freedom to where you can spend your time or how you wish, and maybe you'll be able to reach out and find these people like we've been lucky enough to, and just find that community at least and a lot of us have met, It's not that we don't live near each other and everything, but we talk a lot, and we do meet occasionally and share that energy. And it's important to know that there's people out there like you, that, you're not crazy. There's other people that see it too. So yeah, keep your head up, man. It's coming. Good times ahead.
Good times for all.
I have important meme advice from Tommy, that flat fellow, who also gave the other advice, but he did say we could worry better with 99 red balloons. Or is that left ones?
Left, yes, yes.
Nina.
A side note, I see our buddy Liz giving kudos to Donnie because apparently Billy Ray Valentine, another friend of the family here, has said a few times about her going on Infinite Fringe, but she's not so sure. So she's very proud of you for coming on here and hanging out with us. Liz, I don't know if the invitation has been leveled in an auditory manner. I know we've asked you in chat before, but now it's officially out in the world. You are heavily invited to come hang out with us at any time you would like to, lady. Both here or there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be live either.
Wednesdays off the air, anything. You know this. So just say the word. That goes for anyone. We are pretty much an open door. Come hang out. We love you guys.
Certainly a
Especially
request.
Liz.
Yeah.
Especially Liz.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, definitely.
especially what was it, Adam?
No,
I'm sorry.
seriously, especially Liz.
Yes. What was that, Adam? I'm sorry, I missed it.
I was going to say certainly a request, but almost a demand.
Well, you know, I was saying I wasn't going to say I'd be jealous if she went on Billy Ray's before she came.
No,
in. I wasn't going to say that out loud. But
If
now
you
that
went
you
on there first, there'd be a loss of spanner, wouldn't there? See that spanner?
Oh, now it's suddenly we got like ransom time and whatnot.
There it is. She wants to come in on a Wednesday, so we'll pop her in on a Wednesday for a nice Wednesday chat.
Done. I'm writing it on my note right now.
Shit, Nemo too. We'll just start a.
What's that? Wednesday in the scout house. What? The scout house?
Everybody form a queue behind Liz. But I think that's going to bring it real close to 3 hours, folks.
Well, it's for y'all. For you.
If we'd have started on time, it would be, wouldn't it?
If I had started on time, it would be.
Oh. We've got a while yet then.
Yeah, I know. My bad. Again, my apologies, Donnie. Damn it. But please don't make this the last time. Sir, definitely come hang out with us again. It was a blast.
I will definitely try.
Cool.
I want to know more about your journey as you go, and
Really?
like a lot of the different questions when you get more to like advanced or whatever and possibilities. I'd love to discuss with you, but again, it's along the journey. So
No.
enjoy every step that you're at.
I was really pulling myself back a lot, trying not to preload you with too many rabbit holes because you're going to find so many on your own, my friend. So I didn't want to go, hey, have you seen, ooh, because then you'll go in going, oh, that's that crazy shit Walt was talking about. Never mind. I'm not looking at that. So yeah, you're going to find some interesting stuff along your journey that might surprise you. Just come hang out. We're pretty much jaded and hardened to some of this stuff. We can handle it. Talk to us, man. We'll help if we can.
And not just about this stuff, about anything. You getting some issues at schools, some problems you can't figure out, or you're just whatever.
Truly. And it doesn't have to be on the air, man. We truly don't just have to sit live and talk to you. We'll hang out off the air as we've offered to the scouts there in chat as well.
For sure. All right, then. Well, I think it's probably about that time.
I suppose it is. Thank you all again there in chat. It was great seeing some new people there that I can't scroll fast enough up to find now. I've lost you. I'm sorry. But I did see a new person that was very nice and commented a very nice comment. Damn it. Where is it?
While you're doing that, request.
Do that, sir.
Josh, a second. Can we play it with Tiki Tack?
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, La just called to say thank you.
Oh, that's great, man. We love you, bro.
Yeah.
We love
He says thank you
care.
to everybody. Thank you for all the prayers and wishes. Yeah. Just an awesome guy.
Well, I'm definitely going to take a few seconds out of my evening tonight and focus
Truly.
some of those positive vibes to his brother in ICU. For sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Law. Oh, it was John Stetch earlier that said thanks for the great show from Vancouver. Thank you for being here, John. We appreciate that, my friend. Thank you.
And we sure can get out of here with some little boxes as covered by the Nomad. But I think we should get the hell on out of here, but I'll cue that up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Donnie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Any parting words before we get out of here?
I don't know. Good night.
That'll do. That will do.
That rocks, brother. Thank you, Donnie. Truly, thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Love you guys. Be good. Be well. We will see you right back here next week for another episode of Have No Sphere. Not the Ironworks, because the Ironworks is every Tuesday and Friday morning from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. to noon Greenwich Mean Time.
All right.
Love you guys. Be good. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Love y'all.
Friday. See you.
Little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes made of ticky-tack. Little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. They're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university, where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and there's lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry. They all have pretty children. The children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university, where they are put in boxes. They come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. And they're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same.